Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. Hi there. Give me a minute to get this all this shit situated here. He's making a list, checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. There we go. Okay. Hi, I'm Caleb Jones. I'm here to deck your halls with your jingle balls. Why does that sound gay? Is that like a Nick Fuentes thing? I hate women. I've never had sex. I think having sex with women is disgusting, but I'm not gay. Western Collapse is funny. I was a little unprepared for this, so hang on a moment here. Hang on a moment. Those of you who are live, if you could put in the chat, if you could both see me and hear me, that would be wunderbar. I don't normally do these live streams, so I'm making this kind of into a big deal. I'm going to go for about 3 hours here. I'm going to give you an agenda in a minute. But yeah, let me know if you can see me and hear me so I can stop laughing and acting like a dumbass. Both see and hear. Thank you. Cool. All right. Wonderful. That's great. Okay, hang on a minute. Let's see. Cool. All right. Good. Okay, good. Okay, good. Good. All right. Awesome. Okay, great. Let me make sure my slide. You can see my slides, right? I haven't done this in so long. I'm like paranoid now. Will this work? Duh. Can you see the big slide? You should be able to see it. If you can see me, why do I look blue? Fuck, I know why I look blue. Hang on. Hang on a fucking minute. I recently changed my, wow, I really look Santa Claus now with these glasses. Ho, ho, ho's. Ho, 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 little boy. What do you want for Christmas? I want a Nintendo 64. Well, they don't manufacture those anymore, little boy. Well, fuck you, Santa. Hang on. There we go. I don't look blue anymore. There, I look more like my stunning, sexy self. I was watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Brad Pitt when he takes off his shirt. And I'm like, I look just like that. Okay. There we go. I look a little better now. Why does my shirt look funny? I don't care. All right. Half my face is only visible. You're not full screen. Oh, great. Okay, we got to figure this out. Hang on a moment. Show vertical. Yeah, this new software. Okay. Hang on. Hide vertical. Oh, I see. Are you guys who say have chopped off my face? Are you watching this on a phone? Tell me if you're on a phone, if you can see half my face. You're not full screen. Are all of you guys on a phone saying this? It's fine on the web. Aha, there's 2 streams, one for mobile and one for desktop. Oh, no. Okay, so we fucked that up. So if it looks weird to you, go to the other stream. That was an error. We're using a new system now, and yeah, all right. Cool. Desktop seems fine. You sent the link for the mobile stream in the email list. Okay, yeah, we probably did that. That sounds like me. Yeah. All right, so here's what you need to do if you're on the live stream. You need to go to YouTube right now. Go look up Caleb Jones, Alpha Male 20 or Unchained CEO, either one. Go to live and you'll see 2 streams. Click the one that you're not on. You'll see both of them on YouTube. So go there right now. Go there right now. Go there right now if I look funny. I can try to fix this vertical. Let me see if I can fix this vertical thing. Oh, shit. No. Don't do that. What did I just do? Oh, fuck. Hang on. Okay. At least I can move myself. Click. Remove from stage. Yeah, no, I can't fix that. All right. So once again, if you are seeing me look weird, you're on the wrong stream. I'll have to repeat this 16 times because people are going to come in late. Go to the other stream. Go to YouTube, Caleb Jones, Alpha Male 2.0, or Caleb Jones, Unchained CEO. Go to live and click the other stream. Cool. All right. Great. Great. Problems are the spice of life or something. Okay. Let me close this vertical one. That's better. Yay. Okay, great. What's the podcast site that has the non-YouTube videos? I will cover that. It's calebjonesblog.com. What a great question. I'm going to cover all that stuff. Okay, how are we doing here? Let me double check. We doing good? We're doing good? Great. Welcome to my wonderful holiday live stream. I wanted to do a special live stream for the end of the year, primarily because I'm going to cover this in great detail. I am moving into a new phase of life as of now. I'm going through a big transitionary period that started about a month ago, and is going for the next few months until April 20th, which is my birthday. And so I wanted to, a few things. One is cover that, and two is cover some other stuff that will help you to plan out the new year and things like that. And matter of fact, let's just go to the agenda here. So this is the agenda for this live stream. I plan on going at least 2.5 hours, if not 3. I'm not going to do this again for a very long time, if ever. I'm sure I'll do it again. I just don't know when I'll do something like this again in terms of live streaming. So I'm going to talk about first a few quick announcements. I'm going to talk about Go Time. Most of you are familiar with that, so I'm just going to buzz past that pretty quick. It's been a good 1.5 years since I've done any updates in public, not through my programs, my private stuff, but in public on my life and my PDMs and the women I'm with and my 5 flags and what I'm doing, giving an update on that. I'm going to do a little thing on how to plan your year and plan your quarter. Then I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the stuff that is coming out in 2026, stuff that I'll be offering to you, stuff I'll be doing in terms of this company. I have a few other companies, but this company, I have very big plans. And then I'm going to talk about the 2026 Caleb World Tour. I am actually coming to, if you're in the United States or Europe, I'm coming to a city near you, and I mean that literally. So you can actually hang out with me. It'll be pretty cool. Talk about that. I am going to cover some political shit that will make you mad. Because if you're a Trump supporter, I'm going to make you mad. If you're a left winger, I'm going to make you mad because you're both wrong, as usual. And then I'm going to give a little piece at the end, a little chunk of some of my new content, my spirituality and philosophy content, which I'm going to be leaning into heavily next year. I'm going to go through all that great detail. So that's kind of that's the agenda for this live stream. I will try to find time for questions. I'm sure you have a lot. I'll do my best. Let's see. What if you're a libertarian, then you won't be mad? Well, if you're a libertarian, you're already mad because you never got your way. I've said this. If you're a real libertarian like me, there's very few of us left. There's about 4 libertarians left in the whole world. But if you're one of these 4 libertarians left in the whole world, you're always mad because you never got your way. If you're a right winger, you get your way sometimes. If you're a left winger, you get your way sometimes. If you're a libertarian, when have you ever gotten your way? Never. So yeah, that's why you have to leave the United States. So there we go. You can ask questions as we go along, but I may or may not see them. I'll try to open it up for Q&A. Say, hey, let's do some quick Q&A, and then I'll answer those questions. Cool? Cool. Okay. Something else. Oh, shit, I forgot to do this. Fuck, hang on. You tell I'm not very prepared for this because I haven't followed my live stream SOP in quite a while. I'm done with these in quite a while here. I got to get some material ready for something I want to discuss in a second. Okay. Moving on up. Here's what I'm going to do on this live stream. I promised I would do this. I'm going to do a drawing at the end of this live stream. I'm going to do 2 of them at the end of this live stream. And again on Tuesday night. You can only enter into 1 drawing. We will delete duplicates. Okay. So here's this is going to work. It's going to be a random drawing. I'm going to do this live on this thing. And I'm going to give away 3 prizes per drawing. The 3rd place prize is a $50 credit toward anything I have. There will be some kind of expiration date on it. I don't know what that'll be. The 2nd place prize is a $300 credit on anything I have. The 1st place prize will be a 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with me that is free. And I charge a lot of money for those. So there you go. So at the end of this live stream, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, however long this goes, I will do the drawing. I will not announce. I will email you. My team will email you. I will only announce your first name. I'm not going to give out your email address on the fucking internet. Okay. Here's how this is going to work. 2 of each prizes will be awarded. So right now in this live stream, I'll do this live for those of you live and those of you watching the replay on YouTube to give you guys an ample chance. I'll give you 2 days to watch this replay. I'll give you 2 days. Should be plenty of time, especially this week. You have nothing to do. I'll do that again. So the way this is going to work is this. Throughout this live stream, I'm going to hold up a card with a word on it. I'm not going to verbally say the word because I don't want it in the chat. I don't want it in the transcript for people to cheat. So I'll have a one word on that card. You need to write down that word. I'm going to do this 3 times over the next 3 hours. And I might say, here it is, but I'm not going to say what the word is. Do not say what the word is in the chat. If you say what the word is in the chat, I will ban you off the chat because you're allowing people to cheat. I want people to watch the live stream. That's the whole point of this thing. Okay. See, again, none of my motives are ulterior. I'm telling you why I do everything. Okay. So then when you have all 3 of these words, these codes, you need to go to tinyurl.com/Caleb contest. I will give that out again later in the live stream. And you plug in your name, your email, and the 3 words. And now you're entered into the contest, into the drawing. Cool. So if you're watching the replay of this, you need to do this before the end of the evening on December 30th. That is Tuesday, December 30th. Midnight PST. So 11:59 p.m. PST is when I do that second drawing. So you do that before then. Do it well before then. If you're on the live stream, you do it now on the live stream. I will give out that URL again. If I don't, then remind me in the chat. I'll probably forget. Like I said to my wife, I'll probably forget. You got to remind me because I don't remember details. You write that down now if you want. tinyurl.com/Caleb contest. It's just a Google form. Okay. Don't do it now because you don't know what the codes are yet. Cool. Cool. Okay. At the end of the stream, I'll do a drawing for all 3 prizes. Right. End of the stream, then I'll do it again Tuesday evening. Those of you watching the replay on YouTube, because the vast majority of you are probably watching the replay, not the live stream, which is fun. All right. Okay. I already said that. Do not type in the codes during the live stream in the chat. I will instantly ban your ass if you do, and I will do it with a smile on my face. I love banning people. It's fun. I'm a big asshole. Okay. First thing. Second thing. I shouldn't number these things because we have a lot to cover on this live stream. I have like 8, 9, 10 topics. The slides for this took me like a fucking whole day to do. I'm exaggerating slightly. I've already gotten some questions about this in the chat. I know it's confusing. I'm going to make this as easy as possible. I've changed the way I've done my social media about 2-3 months ago. I'm actually putting a lot more content now. I'm going to put out a lot more next year as well because I'm leaning into my personal brand. And one of the few things that's going to protect me from the possible AI communist utopia is my personal brand. So I'm leaning more into content. That's also why I'm doing the live events next year, the live in-person events. Okay. So let me explain how this works. So first of all, obviously I'm still on YouTube, Unchained CEO for business content. And I'm only doing business content on Unchained CEO now. Alpha Male 2.0 YouTube. And I'm only discussing how to date multiple women. I'm not discussing any other topics now at the Alpha Male 2.0 YouTube channel. Okay. Then for all other topics, 5 flags, personal updates, politics, dating, anything else I talk about a lot of stuff. You want to go to calebjonesblog.com. That is my Substack. I post at least 2 videos a week there that never go on YouTube. So if you're not there, you're missing out on a lot of my content. I also post 2 articles there that do not go on my blogs. I still have my blogs. My blogs are AI transcriptions of certain YouTube videos I do. Okay. AI does not write my content. Let me say that again. AI does not write my content. Let me say that a 3rd time. Because now, as I predicted this would happen 4 or 5 years ago, or 3 years ago, I forget, people who are not using AI are now being accused of using AI. I don't use AI. I use AI to transcribe the video and summarize it into an article. I didn't use AI to write it. But on Substack, I actually write it myself. So if you want, quote, real Caleb writing stuff, Substack, calebjonesblog.com. You can go there right now if you want while you're watching this live stream. Okay. So I do 2 articles a week there, plus 2 videos that are not my blogs, and 2 videos a week there that are not at YouTube. And that's kind of whatever I want to talk about. And you can comment there and all that same usual shit. All right. Then, starting about 2 months ago, I used to have all these groups all over the internet. I had a Discord server. I had a Telegram group. I had a big Facebook group with like 20,000 people in it. It was too messy. So I've combined all my free stuff, all my free communities, 2 free communities now. They're free at School, SKOOL. There is an Unchained CEO School and an Alpha Male. What happened here? Hang on. Oh, I clicked the link. I see what happened. All right, hang on. This fucked up. Hang on a second. Oh, I see it. Hyperlinked it, and I clicked it, and it went there. Oh, okay. Hang on a moment. Let me fix this. I love that you spend all this money for the fastest laptop you can buy, and it's slow because everything's on the cloud. Back in the 80s, the 90s, if you bought a fast computer, it was fast. Today, you're fucked because everything's on the cloud. You're limited. And, well, Caleb, your internet connection. I have terabyte fiber here in Dubai. This is all in the fucking cloud. All right. There we go. Okay. So I've got 2 school communities that are free. I am personally involved in these communities several times a week. Me personally, I am there. I am not on any of my other free communities. So if you're on my Facebook group or whatever, I'm not there. I'm here at the Telegram school groups. So the link is for the Unchained CEO, which is the business one, school, SKOOL.com/UCEO. And for the Alpha Male 2.0 community, there's several hundred people, both these communities. School.com/alpha-male-20-1957. We had to do that link. I know I don't like it, but that's the way it goes. You can go over there and sign up. It's all free. And if you have to sign up, and we let everyone in within like 4, you'll have to wait 24 hours for us to let you in, because we've had, robots and bots and things like that. Chicks go on there and look for dudes, webcam girls. It's been great. Okay, so I'm involved in those several times a week. I write little mini articles that go into my school community that I do not write at Substack and that I do not write at my blogs. So if you want the full Caleb Jones experience, YouTube, podcasts if you want, blogs if you want, Substack, CalebJonesBlog.com, and both school communities, or whichever ones apply to you. Cool? All right. Okay. I see a lot of questions coming in. I'll try to get to those later. All right. Topic number 1 of the day. I'm just going to buzz through this because most of you who are familiar with my content understand this. If you're new to my content, this is going to change your life. If you are old to my content, you're probably not doing this. Matter of fact, I know for a fact most of you are not doing this. You've got to do this. This will change your fucking life. It changed my life. And this is about to start this week is Go Time. Go Time is January 2nd to May 31st. That's what Go Time is. It's a 5-month period. It is the absolute 100% best segment of time every year, 5 months, to make progress in your business life and make more money, and in your woman life to get more girls. Both of these things. It's amazing. If you live in the Northern Hemisphere, I always get Australians. So what about us? If you're Australian, I'm sorry, not quite. Or you live in South America, not quite. But if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, this is it. Let me describe why this is the best time of the year to get things done. And this starts Friday. January 2nd is Friday. Okay. Here's why. Hang on. Daddy needs a drink. Hang on a minute. In the Northern Hemisphere, the weather is shitty. From January to May, it's not that great. So that means that people are available. They're not outside playing. They're not going on vacations. They're all vacationed out for the holidays. They're not out weekends hunting and doing shit. They're not visiting family members or having family visit them. That happens in the summer. So in the Northern Hemisphere, January through May, in most regions, the weather is not that great, which means people are home or they're at work working, which means they're available. So women are available for you, and people in business are available for you when you call them or contact them. Number 2, there are no major holidays in most countries during these 5 months. There's some little ones. Yes, there's Valentine's Day, but does Valentine's Day shut down the planet Earth like Christmas does? No. There's Easter. You kind of have spring break, in the United States for a week, in March or something, but they're little ones. But other than that, no major holidays, which again means people are available. That's why it's so difficult to date and do business right now. The latter 2 weeks of December are wonderful for taking time off and celebrating shit. I love Christmas. That's good. But they are awful for finding new women if you're a man and doing any business because everyone's on vacation. I was talking to my sales team a week or two ago, and we're all pissed off because we're not going to be able to do any sales. Really not for the next 2 weeks. It drives me crazy because I work with lots of workaholics like me. We're all pissed off. You can't do any work for fucking latter 2 weeks of December. So anyway, but January 2nd, you can fucking kill it. You can murder this shit. These 5 months in business, lots of people in business, not everybody, but lots of people, myself included, probably many of you included, are excited and itching to get back to work. God, I love Christmas, but I don't need Christmas for 2 weeks. Give me Christmas for like 3 days, and then I want to go back to work, make money. So people like me, many people like you, a lot of other people in the business world, they're excited to get back to work. They're focused on business, which means now they're available for you and the opportunities grow for you for business. It's awesome. All the way to May, end of May. It's great. Women. So the great thing about women, January is the #1 best month of the year to get new women. Why is that? Because by January, most women, not all, but most women have dumped their temporary monogamous beta male boyfriends because the holidays are over. And at the bare minimum, they will dump them by November 15th, which is the day after Valentine's Day. That's what women do. I've talked about this in my blogs for many years. They boyfriend up for the winter. Winter holidays are over. They're single again, which means in December, January, February, they are single and ready to rock and roll. Great. January is the best month of the year for dating. February is the second best. March and April are the third best. May is really good. So these 5 months are awesome for woman stuff too. New women. Now, if you're like me and you have all the women you need, then it doesn't really matter. But if you're going after new women, go time, baby. So therefore, when you're setting your goals and plans for the new year, especially the first quarter, because I make plans based on the quarter, you need to reflect the fact that this quarter, January, February, March, is go time. And second quarter is half go time. Right? You need to reflect the reality of the new opportunities you have in go time that you will not have starting in June. Because what happens in June? Summer. Weather gets nicer. People start taking time off. Women start traveling, going out with friends, visiting family, all that shit. People are hard to get a hold of. Then you have September. So let's see, June, July, August, bad. Or not bad, but moderate, okay? Then you have August, September. People kind of go back to school. September's pretty good. October is okay. November starts to suck. December's terrible. Okay? So therefore, when you're planning, we'll talk about this more in a minute, you need to set more aggressive goals. Your goal for whatever you set, if you plan by the quarter, and you should, whatever goals you're setting for March 31st, I've already planned my quarter, dude. I planned the next 25 years of my life a few weeks ago. Been working on this all December. That's what you do for December. Your objective for March 31st should be aggressive because you get a lot of shit done in your life between Jan 2nd and March 31st for that quarter. Okay. More aggressive standards for how hard you will work and how much you will focus. So I'm already very focused. I already work very hard, but I work really hard in January, February, March. Really hard. I blow my brains out and I get results. Talk about that in a second. You can always cut back or rest in June. When go time is over, then you can take some time off in June. I think that's a pretty good schedule. I think what you should do, this is my opinion. This is not Alpha Male 2.0 Unchained. This is Caleb's personal opinion. Caleb's personal opinion is January, you plan right now, you plan in December when nothing's going on. Okay. January 2nd, you blow your fucking brains out. You put your head down and you work your ass off in whatever areas of life you need, woman or business or both, as long as you follow the 2-project rule, okay? You don't put your head up until June 1st. June 1st, then you can dial it back and relax if you want. If you want to. You don't have to. That's my advice if you want to hit it. Here's why. And I have done this many, many times. Many years. I have made the vast majority of my annual income in the first 5 months of the year because of go time. Some years like a crazy percentage, a very large, I'm not giving you numbers, but large numbers where I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't have to work the rest of the year in June. Now, I don't do that, but I could. And many times I've done this, not lately because I have all the women in my life I want now. I'm trying to reduce my number of women. I'll cover that in a little while later. When I was going after new women, I would get all the women I needed for the year by the end of go time. Many times, and I'm not kidding about this, I would have them all by the end of February. I'm not kidding. I've had years where I got 2 new FBs and 2 MLTRs or whatever, 3 FBs, 2 MLTRs, 1 MLTR and 4, whatever, by early March. And I'm like, I'm set for the year. This is great. Then I shut off the dating machine and I get back to work. Beautiful. This is the stuff you could accomplish with go time, which starts Friday. Or you could be like most dickheads and just sit around and smoke weed and play video games and jerk off to porn and complain on Twitter about politics and do nothing and waste these months. And with the collapse of the West and AI about to take your job, you're a fucking moron if you do that. Unless you're already worth millions of dollars and do whatever you want. But if you're not, or you are hyper flexible, it means you're out of the collapsing West, you live somewhere in Paraguay or South America, you make your $7,000, $8,000 location dependent, you're good to go. Then okay, you can chill. 95% of you don't have that. Get to fucking work. Okay. Before I pivot to myself, should I answer some questions really quick? I see a lot. Holy shit. Hang on. I'm just going to answer some random questions. Is joining the U.S. military or pursuing a location-independent business a good idea? No. Please do not do that. That's terrible. How can someone unlearn inner monologue, develop an academic environment that morally oppose monetization and idealize the free education of my bit? Read my book, The Unchained Man. There's entire chapters in there how to clean out false societal programming, including religious societal programming and societal programming you got from college. Read my book. What the fuck? I got exactly dumped on February 15th. Correct. That's how women work. Monogamy doesn't work. Monogamy doesn't work. Stop doing it. Women will dump your ass in January or February. That's what they do. And then they will fuck me. I'm just looking around here. Have passports in Paraguay become extremely difficult now to get in 2026? Passports? No. Residency? Harder, yes. Which laptop do you have? I have a ThinkPad X1. I am strongly considering going to a MacBook next year. Strongly considering it. I still am maintaining my Windows 10. I am not fucking moving to Windows 11. I am not doing it. I am not doing it. I am not doing it. And I get messages every day. You need to go to Windows 11, motherfucker. I'm like, fuck off, Bill Gates. So I am strongly considering next year making that move. Not sure, but we'll see. Why do you think February 15th is a dump date? Day after Valentine's Day. She got her attention from you from Valentine's Day. Now she's done with you. She's going to kick your ass to the curb and get a new guy. Women are serial monogamists. Serial. You are based. I know. All right. Moving on. This is my update. Hang on. Let me do my first code. So I know I'm going to forget to do this if I don't do it right now. So hang on. I'm going to write it down. I got to think of a word. I know a word. Can you read my handwriting? Don't say this word. Don't type this in the chat. That's the first word. I know my handwriting sucks. It's the 21st century. I type everything. There it is. Okay. Moving on. If you put that word in the chat, I will ban you and I will gleefully laugh with joy. Don't want to buy the Unchained CEO suite because I have almost all the programs I make. Can I buy Mission Blueprint separately? Yes, I'll cover that in a few minutes. Yes. Does uppercase or lowercase matter? No, it doesn't. All right. Because I'm not doing live streams anymore, I stopped doing them quite a while ago. Thank God. I like talking to you guys, but my schedule's got a little more complicated lately. I have not really updated you on what I'm doing in my life, and I know I get a lot of questions about my life and what I'm doing. I will repeat this in a few minutes. If you want details about what I'm doing in my life that I cannot talk about publicly, like pictures of the women I'm with and stuff, you can join the Unchained Action Table. That is at caleb.top/UAT. And I show damn near everything over there to you. And you guys are in the program, you guys know. But here's what I can tell you publicly. So these are my 5 flags updates. So I have talked about how I have a bunch of financial goals and business goals I need to hit. But ideally by end of this month, December 31st, I work on this for 7 years now. And then some minimally I want to hit by my birthday next year, April 20. I know, yes, my birthday is April 20. Yes, I know it's 420, even though it was smoke it. I've heard all the jokes. Yes, I know it's Hitler's birthday. I've heard all the jokes. So anyway, my birthday is April 20. I turned 54 because I'm very young. And I pretty much hit those goals. The ones that I have not hit yet are basically in the bag. They're not like, oh, well, I hit the goal. Yeah, I'm pretty much there. So this means I'm going to make some big transitions now. It's going to take me a few months to make these transitions. Very big changes, some of which I'll discuss during this live stream, some of which I can't talk about. My entire PDM thing I've been working on for 4 years now is part of that transition. That's in my personal life. Health transitions, work transitions, all kinds of stuff to do. So currently I still am maintaining and will continue to maintain my schedule. I spend 7 months a year, every year in Dubai. I'm in Dubai right now. And 5 months a year in Paraguay. And I do that because A, I love both countries. B, both countries are rising instead of collapsing, like the collapsing USA and cuckoo Canada and suicidal Europe and authoritarian Australia. I live in 2 rising countries. 3 or 4, whatever number I'm on. These countries don't tax me, tax-free countries. Paraguay is a territorial tax country. Dubai is a zero tax country. So that's why I live in these countries. And people are happy, and the women are pretty, and the weather's fucking great. And when I'm in these countries, I mean, right now it's super hot in Paraguay. Billy's there, but I'm not. I'm in Dubai where it's fucking great. The weather's awesome. So, yeah, so that means I'm in Dubai from October to April every year, and I'm in Paraguay from May to September every year. Okay? And I'm going to maintain that permanently. That's my permanent schedule. I like it. I've been doing that for a few years now, and it's perfect for me. I love it. Love it. I do miss the people who I miss in the other countries when I'm in the other country, but I'll pay that price. That's fine. What I have done is I did this with my family. I did this with people in my business. I've done this with some various other people in my personal life. I have mandated to everyone in my life that I will never visit the United States ever unless it's when I'm in Paraguay. By the way, that goes for Mexico as well because that's another one of my flags. So I will never visit the United States or Mexico unless it is between the months of May and September when I'm already in Paraguay. Why? Jet lag and time zones and flights. It's a 15-hour flight from Dubai to the United States, and it's kind of rough. I'm used to doing it. I'm a tough guy. I have techniques for jet lag and stuff. I can handle it, but the older I get, the worse it is. It's not good. I'll do it twice a year when I make the transition, and that's it. I was in the United States for Thanksgiving, helping out Pink Firefly with some stuff. I'll talk about her in a second, and talk to my family. And I told my family, I am never doing this again. I'm not doing Thanksgiving. I will see you, but it's going to have to be in the summertime. Because when I'm in Paraguay, I just fly north, and there's no time zone change. It's an easy thing for me. And so my family has actually reoriented. A few other people in my family said something similar. So we're going to have our family reunions now in every July. Unfortunately, they're going to be in Portland, Oregon, so I'll have to hold my nose as I land in there and, puke at all the homeless people and stuff like that. But I've been puking in the United States for about 10 years now, so I'm used to this. So that's a big change. That's thank God. And I will not. Matter of fact, I'm hardcore about this. My brother texted me a few weeks ago and said, hey, I'm getting married again in October next year. I want you to come, Caleb. I'm like, no, I love you. You're my brother. I love you. No, I'm not. Well, I'm not coming. Change your wedding date. I didn't say that. I'll send you a gift. I'm not coming. I'm not doing this because that's when I'm in Dubai. No. This is about me now. I'm taking advantage of visa-free and passport-free travel provided by my residencies. So something I have not been paying attention to, this is a Five Flags benefit that I've always had, but I forgot that I had this. This hat is making me hot. Hang on. And not like, the sexy kind of hot. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. When you have residency, not passports, we equate, and so do I make this mistake, we equate travel, international travel. Did I not button my shirt? I'm trying to do a strip tease here on YouTube. Hang on. International travel, visa-free travel with passports. Okay. When you have residencies, you also get visa-free travel and sometimes passport-free travel. For example, if you have residency in Paraguay, and I do, you get a little card called a national ID card called a cédula. Those of you in Paraguay, you already have one. You already have yours. Good for you. And this magical little card allows you to travel to just about, not all of them, but just about every other South American country without a visa and without a passport. You don't need a passport. You can fly to Argentina or Brazil or wherever, just flash your cedula and they let you in. You don't need a passport. Holy fuck. Pretty cool, okay? You also get visa-free travel to several other countries where you need your passport. If you are a resident of Dubai, you get a little card called your Emirates ID. I am a resident here. I live here, okay? And this card gives you not passport-free travel, but visa-free travel to about 18 countries that normally me as an American would have to apply for a visa for it. I have to go to the embassy or mail my passport and wait 6 weeks and hope they don't lose my passport and fart around and get approved. Like, I'm going to go to Uzbekistan. I keep trying to go to this country and I keep not having time. I really want to visit Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan for investment reasons. Uzbekistan, if you're an American, you got to sign up for a visa and do this visa crap. I have an Emirates ID. I can just go and they just let me in the country. 30 days visa-free access because I'm a resident. So one of the reasons I have not actively hardcore pursued, I mean, I am pursuing them, but I can't talk about this publicly, other passports is that I have so many residencies, I get visa-free access to most of the planet Earth if you combine it with my current American passport. It's awesome. So that's yet another reason you should get a residency, a backup residency in another country. And of course, the 4 best ones are Dubai, Armenia, Mexico, Paraguay. And there's 3 or 4 other decent ones, but those are the 4 best. Pick one of those and go get one. I'm not hardcore about pursuing any new Five Flags goals at the moment. Yes, that's correct. I am, but it's not hardcore because I'm pretty solid with what I have. Though more passports are definitely in my midterm future. I cannot discuss that, but publicly, I mean. But like I'd be talking to like one of my advisors or 2 of my advisors. I'm like, all right, I want to do for my Five Flag stuff. I want to set up a corporation in this country. I want to get this over here and the passport and resume. And they're like, well, you don't need to because you already have this and this. So this and this already covers that. And if that doesn't work, you have this as a backup. You have so much in place, Caleb. You don't really need this unless you're like Andrew Henderson and you just like to collect these things for fun, which I do not. There's something else I like to do for fun. GIRLS. That's what I like to do for fun. Okay, so, but more passports are definitely in my future. It's just not as urgent as I perceived it to be earlier. Okay. Women update. So Pink Firefly, I did a video of this over at my Substack. So if you're over at my Substack, you already know all this stuff. If you're not on my Substack, go to my Substack, calebjonesblog.com. The plan was for Pink Firefly to come back to Dubai full-time in November. Pink Firefly is suffering from some relatively serious health problems. It's not anyone's fault. It's nothing she did. It would be easier if it was someone's fault because then I could yell at someone and fix it, but it's not. And so she needs some procedures done and some other stuff. She's doing much better now. Thank God, thank God, thank God. But in the middle of all these problems, it was just not feasible for her to move across the world and find an apartment and a 15-hour flight and 27 boxes and then changing doctors and can't do it. So to my chagrin, but I'll deal with it. I live a great life. I really can't complain about anything. She is still in the United States. She will come back to Dubai next year. We're figuring out exact dates. We have like 2 or 3 different options. And it really depends on her health and some other things. Also, she cannot come back to the United States when I'm in Paraguay, because if I'm in Paraguay, I can't fly to the United States and go to Dubai. So she has to come back to the United States either before April or October next year when I come back. It sucks, but she's coming back, so that's good. I have not spoken about this in about a year and a half. I have 3 PDMs. These are 3 relationships with 3 women. Pink Firefly is one of them. I have one in Dubai now. I have one in Paraguay now. And I have Pink Firefly in the USA who will be coming to Dubai. These 2 new PDMs, they're not new, but they're new to you guys, are officially confirmed, but they are not locked in. So let me explain this, how this works with PDMs. Maybe someday I'll write a book. Confirmed in the PDM parlance means this is someone you've known for many, many, many years. She is a known quantity. There are feelings between the 2 of you. There are much more than an FB. You have explained the entire system to her, and she has agreed to all of it. That's confirmed. Okay. Locked in is a little different. Locked in means once she's confirmed, she has experienced several jealousy spiking events, because that's a lot to ask of a woman. Hey, I'm going to be with you, but I'm going to be with 2 other women too, who I also have feelings for and have a relationship with. OLTR with FBs on the side, that's an easy sell. Almost all women will do that these days. Damn near all of them, all over the world. Easy sell. PDMs, much more difficult. I've been working this for several years for a reason. So that's a difficult sell. So if they agree to it, they have to go through a events where they feel really jealous and they go, I don't like that Caleb's with this other girl and doing this. And they stay with you. So they overcome the hump of the jealousy event. When I was in when I was in the United States in November with Pink Firefly, my Paraguay PDM was messaging me, and she's like, oh, what are you doing? I'm not doing that. She's like, are you with Pink Firefly? I said, yes, I am. And she said, I got to be honest, I'm so jealous. This just makes me so jealous because she's so pretty and blah, 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 blah. I said, I understand that. And to her credit, she says, I know I'm jealous for cultural reasons. I'm a traditional Paraguayan girl and Catholic, but she survived it. So that's good. Now, she locked in? No, but soon. I think the odds of the Paraguay PDM being locked in within the next 6 months is 90%. The odds of my Dubai PDM being locked in next 6 months are about 80%, maybe 75. She's in a much different scenario. She's got plenty of money. She's less needy and more confident. So we'll see what happens. But the odds are pretty good. So I'm very happy. So I have that. This is going to be the complicated part. I didn't plan it this way. I did not plan it this way. Both my PDMs, other than Pink Firefly, are public figures in very different areas, but they're public figures. So when I go public with these 2 women next year, which is the plan, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. I am still working with Pink Firefly regarding this transition. This is still relatively new for her. Matter of fact, we just had a talk yesterday about this. She's handling it well. It's hard for her, but it gets easier. I have eliminated most of my FBs. I talked about this a year and a half ago, why I'm doing this. I don't want a mountain of FBs anymore. I'm too busy and I'm old and I've already done all that stuff and I've been with tons of women. I've lived all my fantasies, unlike the majority of you. I've been there, done that. I don't need a mountain of chicks. I don't need to do that. I want 3 that are locked in for the next 25 years. That's all I want. So I've eliminated most of my FBs. I have very few left. Though there are still a small number that linger around. Maybe what I'll do is I'll keep 1 FB or 2 around as spares, maybe. There's a bunch of other stuff with my women I cannot talk about publicly. Again, if you want all the details of what I'm doing that I cannot talk about publicly, caleb.top/UAT. You can join there now. Yes, it costs money. All right. Other stuff. Updating on. I've mentioned this. I am moving heavily into my spiritual life now because that was the plan all along. I have had a huge spiritual awakening, at least for me, in the last several months, getting ready for this transition. It makes you feel really good. I like it a lot. I am now completely mentally prepared for my new life starting in a few months. I'm not logistically prepared yet, but I will cover that in a few minutes. What I did 2 weeks ago, I talked this with you guys in the UAT program, is that I planned out the next 25 years of my life. What? Yeah. So that means I have planned out literally from 2026 to 2051 when I hit 79 years old, which is perfect symmetry because Alpha Male 2.0, I know for a fact, works to age 79. After 79, don't know, because that's when your body starts shutting down. However, as I've talked about with AI and technological growth, things like this, by the time I'm 79 in 25 years, it will not be like 79-year-old men now. I might still look like this, kind of. Maybe not. Who knows? So what I'm doing is I'm duplicating a model, a Caleb-ized version of this model from one of my mentors, a man named Dan Sullivan. Dan Sullivan, if you don't know who that is, long story. Anyway, Dan Sullivan works 3 days a week and makes about $27 million a year working 3 days a week. So when Dan Sullivan talks about business and goal setting, I listen. He's one of my mentors. He's an older guy. He's in his 70s. What Dan Sullivan does is that he plans out, he has 25-year goals, and he focuses on those whenever they come. So his next 25-year goal is in 2038. So what, 11 years from now? So he focuses on that. Then he focuses on the next 90 days, every quarter, like I do. And he ignores everything between those two. So between 90 days and 25 years, he ignores. He doesn't give a fuck. He only focuses on 25 years and 90 days. Very effective. There is a Buddhist or Chinese saying that says you need to live every day as if you're going to die tomorrow and live 1,000 years. And if you're a Westerner, you go, huh? But yes, that is the answer. Now, I can't do that. I can't plan on just the next 90 days and the next 25 years. I've tried. I can't. That's not the way my brain works. So what I'm doing is next 90 days, next quarter, I do 12-week years, as always. 25-year plan. I have now 25-year, they're not goals, they're more like 25-year standards. I wrote down how do I want to live over the next 25 years. I gave a list of 4 or 5 things. Then I can have several goals for the next 9 months after the quarter, so 2026. And then between the end of 26 and 2051, I'm ignoring everything. I don't care. So I'm only focused on 25 years, 90 days, and a little bit, 12 months. A little bit. That's it. That's what I'm doing. Awesome. It solves so many problems. It's great. I love it. I love it. To be fair, I'm in a different part of life than the vast majority of you. I'm not saying I recommend that to you. I'm just saying that's what I'm doing for me. This says Caleb update, not Caleb's recommendations. You shouldn't have PDMs either. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Let's see. I'll answer a few questions in a second. I am reorienting my finances and my companies to prepare for my big shift. I've had some big meetings with like my attorneys, my tax attorneys, my CFO, my bookkeepers, the people who manage all my corporate structures. I'm rejiggering things. I can't talk about them publicly, but I'm doing that. And that's kind of a pain in the ass. And some, unfortunately, I can't do. I want to just do it all now. Some of it I can't. Some of it I got to wait 3 or 4 more years because of reasons I can't talk about. I'm like, fuck, okay, fine. So I have kind of this corporate transition plan, financial transition plan, blah, 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 blah. But most of them will be done by April 20 when I make this actual shift. I am working with Pink Firefly on her spiritual growth and her alchemy dependence. Why? Well, when I started moving in this direction of my life a few months ago, which was the plan all along, and she knew this was coming. I said to her, and I said a lot to her, but I'll summarize. I said, look, I want to be with you forever. Definitely next 25 years, past that if we can. Now, if I grow spiritually and grow emotionally and cultivate more alchemy independence and a closeness to the universe and blah, 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 and you stay right where you are, that's going to be difficult for us as a couple, right? So you need to come with me at least somewhat on this journey if you're going to be my long-term person. And of course she said, well, I'm not like you. I'm nothing like, I said, I know you're the opposite of me. That's why I love you. Hello. If you were just like me, I wouldn't like you. Wouldn't be attracted to you. I'd probably like you, wouldn't be attracted to you. So I said, you'll never be like me, but you have to move from this place where you are to this zone over here in the direction where I'm moving. So we're moving together. If I go through all this spiritual growth and personal growth and you stay right where you are in 2025, I don't know if that'll work. So you have to come in this direction. I said, no, I'm an alpha male 2.0. I don't tell women to do. You don't have to, but I'm telling you how I feel. And I said to her, she's in her mid 40s now. She still looks like she's 29. She just turned 46. Okay. And she was when we were in Phoenix 3 weeks ago, she had to tell a woman her age. And the woman's like, I thought you were 29. So Pink Firefly looks goddamn good. But anyway, I said, you're in a place now where you can make these transitions. You're in your 40s. That's when you should do this stuff anyway. And she goes, yeah, I agree. So she agreed to all of it. So we're regularly meeting over Zoom and we're doing a spiritual class together. Caleb's class, not a class we're taking. So weight loss and health gains still going, but I have a very different attitude about this. This is a very big topic. I'm just going to summarize it. I could go 2 hours just on this topic alone, which I won't because I'm not a weight loss or fitness person, obviously. It says, thinking and acting like a person who's been skinny his entire life. So the reason that people struggle losing weight, people have psychological problems with food, which I've discussed many times, is one of my issues. It's probably the issue. And or people who lose the weight and gain it back. Okay. The reason they gain it back is because they're still thinking like people who are trying to lose weight. Here's an example. One of the weight loss coaches I really like, I forget his name. Bishoy Kella is my favorite. This guy's my second favorite. I forget his name. If I remember it, I'll give it to you. He's on Instagram. He's a real skinny guy now, but he lost a lot of weight. And he said, I could tell immediately people who've lost weight who are going to get it back because I can tell with like 95% accuracy. And he goes, what you do is you watch them order food at a restaurant. So someone who is losing weight or someone who's lost a bunch of weight and they're trying to keep it off, when they order food, they'll say, okay, is that cooked in butter? Or is that cooked in oil? Oh, it's in oil. Oh, seed oils are bad. I get. Or like, so that salad, the ranch dressing, does the ranch dressing have sugar in it? Oh, I can't eat sugar. Oh, you better put it on the side. They lose their shit and they freak out when they order food. And his point is, and he's right. If you think about this, take a person who is skinny and has been skinny their entire lives. They've never had a problem with weight ever in their entire lives. How do they order food? They just order food. With rare exceptions, there's always exceptions to every rule. But the vast majority of these people, because I know a lot of these people, they just order a salad. They don't give a fuck. And if they get the salad and the salad dressing is mixed in with the salad, they go, oh no, they mixed the salad dressing. I got to take this back. Can you take this back and give it to me and put it on the side? They don't do that. They just go, okay. And they eat half the salad. And if they want dessert, they'll order a fucking piece of apple pie. And they'll eat. Now, maybe they'll eat half the piece of pie. They just eat. They don't worry about this stuff. They don't obsess over things that I've been obsessing about for 10 years. They don't obsess about calories and cheat days and macros and carbs. They don't do that. They just eat because they know how to eat. So part of my spiritual stuff, maybe I'll talk about this in a few minutes, is knowing, and this is not just spiritual, this is the part of life that I'm in now. I'm already the man I want to be. I already live the life I've always wanted to live. Financially, sexually, internationally, with my work, my health. I'm very healthy. I'm overweight, but I'm very healthy. I live a great life. I'm already the man I want to be. And so I am moving in a direction where I am achieving things, not because I want them, but because of who I already am. Does that make sense? I know it sounds weird. It's part of the spiritual stuff too. So that. Okay. We don't have time here. I'll do one more slide, then I'll answer some questions. Caleb's big transition in April of 2026. What am I going to do? I get questions. We get emails all the time. Is Caleb still going to sell his dating stuff after April? is going to be like Roosh and take it all off the internet? No. Why the fuck? I'm not Roosh. What the fuck? All right. So here are all the changes. Not all. Here are many of the changes I'm going to make in about 4 months. And they're significant. Some of which you will see, some of which you will not see. But here's some of them, give you an idea. By the way, before I go into these, this is Caleb. This is me. This is not you. I'm not saying you need to make these transitions. Unless you're in your 50s and you've had sex with mountains of women and you've lived all your sexual fantasies and you're hooking up with 10s and you make a 7-figure income and you're location dependent and you don't live in the collapsing West. If you're like me, then go ahead and make these transitions. Most of you are not. There's a handful of you, you know who you are, who are in that zone. You guys would 2-3% of my audience could consider these things if you'd like. The rest of you don't do this. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, and maybe this give you ideas for maybe your future as a goal to set for. Cool? Okay. This is just Caleb. This is what Caleb's doing right now. Just with the PDMs. Why do you only want 3 girls? That's crazy. You're 27. You fucked 9 women. Of course you want more. Right? I'm not in that place. All right. One of my biggest changes, there's a lot of them. I am switching to, and this still makes me a little nervous, but I'll do it. I'm switching to a 4-day work week on April 20th next year, 2026. Right now I work a 7 to 6 or 7-day work week. I'm switching to a 4-day work week, and I'm going to stick with that the rest of my life. At some point, I'll probably knock it down to a 3-day work week. I will never retire. Retiring is stupid. I've talked about this many times. Don't fucking retiring is a concept for 9-to-5 employees who hate their jobs and don't have their own businesses. That's what retirement's for. It's not for people like me and you. Retirement's insanity. You'll get a heart attack and die. It's stupid. But I am cutting back to 4 days a week. Now, what's interesting is that I used to have 35 years ago, I used to have a 4-day work week. So in my first marriage, when my kids were little, I wrote about this in The Unchained Man. I had an office with 4 employees. I got rid of my employees, shut down the office. I worked out of my home, and I worked less hours and made more money. It was great. That's why when I learned, oh, wow, you don't need an office. This is great. This is way before COVID. This is like early 2000s. I made this transition 25 years ago. And what I did back then to be a dad, because my kids were little back then, I want to be present for my kids, is that I worked Monday to Thursday. I took Friday off, Saturday off, Sunday off. So I worked a 4-day week. Now, the problem is, didn't do that for very long because then I'm getting divorced and going through all those transitions. So in a way, I'm kind of going back to what I was doing 25 years ago. Although 25 years ago, I was making a lot less money. And I want to not only maintain my income, I want to keep increasing my income, which is going to happen. So that's one thing. This means, big change for me, I will finally have a recreational life and a social life again, which I haven't in a long time. 3 days a week. I'm going to have to fill that with stuff. By the way, what am I going to do during those 3 days? I'm going to cover that in a second. I am not going to sit around and watch movies and TV shows. Are you insane? I'm not going to jerk off to porn. Are you insane? I'm not going to do those things. I'm not going to smoke weed. Video games, yes. So I'm going to start playing video games again. To a degree. I'm not going to play all day and all night. But I haven't played a video game since summer of 2018. I have not touched a video game on a PC or a console since 2018 because I'm committed to my goals. I'm committed to my mission. I know who I am. But I've been playing video games outside of that my entire life, since before many of you were born. I was playing Atari 2600 back in 1981. And I love them. I was playing Ultima 5 in 1987. It's great. So what I'm going to do is start playing video games like I did before. I'll set a timer for an hour, hour and a half, play, and then do something else. But what that means is, I was just looking at these the other day, I'm going to have to get a gaming PC desktop, like a big badass like Alienware. Ooh, cool. Problem is I'm going to need 2 of them, one for Dubai, one for Paraguay. So I have to figure out, do I ship them both to Dubai, set them both up, and then take one with me to Paraguay? Or do I get one and order the exact same model down to Paraguay? And it's going to be a fucking mess, but I'll figure it out. So I'm going to have one gaming PC, souped up, badass, amazing gaming PC in Dubai, one in Paraguay, one where I can save my save games in the cloud. Awesome. I'm going to play Civilization 5. That's one of my favorite games of all time. I'm going to finish Pillars of Eternity 2. So I never finished that fucking thing. That's what I was playing in 2018. I'll play a little bit of Alien Isolation. And then I'm going to play Baldur's Gate 3. Because now I don't play games when they're first released because they have a bunch of bugs. I wait 2 years. My daughter who is also a nerd like me. She's like, when are you going to play Baldur's Gate 3, Dad? Oh my God. Okay, I'll play it next year. So that'll be fun. But again, I'm not going to sit on my ass and play video games all day or all night. I have a life. I have a mission. I have goals. I'm a man. But I will play a little bit. I also will keep building my spiritual life, which is very important to me now and has been a wonderful experience for me. And I'm just getting started with this. I'm going to say it makes me happy, but I'm already really happy. So it makes me more happy. I don't know, a different kind of happy. I don't understand it, but it's good. It's nice. Well, one of the reasons I'm excited to share it with my wife and things like this. So it's great. I'm running a book. Don't worry. I'll cover that in a second. I haven't made the final decision on this, but the odds are good. I'm going to buy a house in Paraguay. You can buy a house in Paraguay for really cheap. You can have a house built, high tech, all modern shit. 2-bedroom house. That's all I need. 2-bedroom house, or maybe 3. No, I want 2. 2 big bedrooms. 2-bedroom house, $75,000 in a fancy neighborhood. Ooh. So Billy, by the way, her plan is to move to Paraguay full time in 2026. She'll actually be moving there. She'll be traveling still, but she's actually moving down to Paraguay. I'm going to stay there my usual 5 months. So I haven't made that solid decision. I'm talking to my attorneys now. Odds are good. If you build it, it's going to take fucking 2-3 years. They move very slowly in Paraguay. And my concern is if I build a house, I don't know the neighborhood because it'll be built. And my challenge at Paraguay is barking dogs. It's a Hispanic South American cultural thing. Dogs bark all day and all night, and people don't care. I don't like that. I want somewhere quiet because I'm an old man. Get up, Milan, God damn it. So I don't know. If I buy a house that's a little further out of Asuncion, or if I build one a little closer to Asuncion, there are some developments on the other side of the river I'm looking. I don't know. We'll see. I got plenty of time to figure that out. If I don't buy a house this year, maybe I'll buy one next year. I don't really care. I'm picky. The older you get and the more successful you become, the pickier you get. And now that I don't give a fuck about anything, I'm really picky about these levels, like my house and shit like that. I'm going to finish eliminating all my FBs in 2026. I already mentioned that, except for perhaps 1 backup per country. So I can visualize maybe my 3 PDMs, 1 backup FB in Paraguay, 1 backup FB in Dubai. Maybe. Now, when Pink Firefly comes here, I will have 2 PDMs in Dubai. So I don't think I'll need a FB here. So that will just evolve over time. I'm flexible. Kids. I can't say anything about that other than just say the word kids. Can't say anything. I'm not saying I'm having kids. I'm not saying I'm fathering any kids. Maybe I could adopt kids. Maybe something else. Maybe a combination. Can't talk about it publicly. But that. All right, let me answer some questions. You guys have a lot of questions. Hang on. Play Dark Souls. That's a good idea. Good idea. Let me scroll up here. I'm just randomly looking at some questions here. What do you think about emailing private practice veterinary clinics in the owner's decision maker's name, subject versus cold calling, since cold calling just led to practice managers? I think that's fine. How often do you recommend deleting and recreating your online dating accounts? Once every 6 months. Instead, just take a break from the account and don't access the account for several weeks. It resets the algorithm. Why Dubai? No weed. I don't smoke weed. No alcohol. Incorrect. Everybody here gets drunk every night. You are wrong. Come to Dubai. It's like Miami. Sounds lame. It's better than Miami. It's the best place on earth. Come spend a few days here before you call it lame. Dubai is amazing. It is a party city. You're insane. You don't know what you're talking about. Would be fun if you did a live streaming of the video games. That would not make me any money and would not further my brand. But yeah, it'd be fun. My school friend snubbed me at my lowest with his friend's business decade ago. Huh? Now I'm popular locally, offered to work with me. $500,000 deals. I ignored him, torn between dignity and learning. If someone snubs me, I'm moving on. That's up to you, though. If someone has a personal brand, can they go into different topics and create a new channel, podcast brand? No, unless you have a giant brand. Fresh and Fit. Okay, you're not as big as Fresh and Fit. Don't they have millions of followers? Do you have millions of followers? Or go ahead. Otherwise, no, don't. I want to have a family. I'm going to be 30 next year. If I stay in Colombia longer than 6 months, I have to pay taxes, correct? So can I be a good dad if I'm out of this country for 6 months a year? I have a blog article about that. Can you be a good dad internationally? Read that article. 6 months is pushing it. That's tough. It's pushing it. The answer is maybe. That's really hard, but it's maybe. It's not definitely yes or no. Is our Italian godfather back online? I had a guy when I was doing technology consulting. He spoke like he was like out of The Sopranos. And he owned a chain of pizza restaurants. This is back in my 20s, right? So I go in there to fix his computer. Hey, man, I'm going to fix your computer. All right. Uh-huh. He's like, oh, yeah, Mr. fucking computer guy. How you doing over here? You going to fix the fucking computer, Mr. Computer Guy? He actually said to me at one point, he's like, I need you to fix my fucking color printer over here. My color printer over here. I was like, why do you need a color printer? He goes, porno. I need that grainy detail with the nipples when I print the nipples. True story. Why consider buying a house instead of always renting? Parking chunks of money seems like a lost opportunity cost. It's only $75,000. To me, that's not much. I don't care. If it was $500,000, you're right, I wouldn't. Have you dated a trans woman? No, thank you. When's your birthday? 420. What was the cause of your spiritual awakening? It was the plan all along. I've been planning this for 7 years. You pushed this notification, Unchained CEO School, but not the Alpha Male School group. Okay, I'm sorry. Down the line, if someone makes a very high six-figure income and wants to have 4 to 6 kids, could that be a viable option, providing the father is very present, gives financial, emotional support? I don't understand your question. Let's say you recently got to lock in with an MLTR. She comes over and you're going to go out on a date. Is it better to have sex before the date or after? After. It doesn't matter. Okay, a few more questions here. Isn't buying a house a violation of 5 flags? Somewhat, but it is not my primary living flag. My primary living flag is Dubai. Only in Paraguay 5 months a year. So your primary living flag is where you spend more than 6 months a year, per the guy's point about the taxes. So it's a gray area, but yeah, it's all right. If I was living there 12 months out of the year, that'd be a definite violation. Yes. Yep. Top 3 books you suggest and why? Go to my blog. Top 7 books every man should read. Did you miss my questions? I probably did, yes. Do you recommend any spiritual mentors or books? I don't want to talk about that on this live stream, maybe later. Gold, Monero, or platinum in 2026? Gold, Monero, or platinum? Bro, all 3. I'm hitting all 3 of those. I'm already in them. All right. Take a drink here. How we doing on time? We're an hour into this. Okay. If I missed your questions, I'll try to circle back later. I'll be on here for a while. Didn't you want to have a 3rd location in Asia, or am I mistaken? Yes, that was the original plan several years ago. And once I solidified 2 homes on 2 sides of the world, I realized that was complicated enough for me. And at my age, I want simplicity. So I canceled the plans for a 3rd home. But you were right. Originally, my plan was to have home base in Dubai, 1 home in South America, 1 home in Southeast Asia or Hong Kong or somewhere in that region in Asia. Yes. I scrapped the idea of an Asian home. I don't want to do 3 homes. I'm too old. I'm 54. I want simplicity. It's just having 2 homes has its own set of complexities, and that's good enough. I just talked about having to buy a gaming PC, right? It's going to cost me $4,000 or $5,000. I got to buy 2 of them and set up 2 of them. If I had 3, I had to buy 3. See what I'm saying? So there we go. All right. Here's how I'm looking at this in my life. And again, this is me. I view this as 2 games. So game 1 was between when I was born and age 54. That's game 1 for me. That's when I was learning how to be the man I wanted to be. So that was my research and development period. Finding out what worked, finding out what didn't, being a man, financially, in business, with women, physical health, happiness, outcome independence, mission, international, 5 flags, all the aspects that are important to me And that should be important to most of you. And I view the first 54 years of my life, the first half of my life, so to speak. Brian Tracy talks about your first half of your life, 50, because you're probably going to be 100 with technology, blah, 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 blah. This is the part of my life where I learned how to be self-actualized Caleb. It took me 54 years when I turned 54 in April. Okay. So that first half, game one, is where I built scaffolding to prepare. That's how I view this. Did I accomplish a lot of things in my first 54 years of life? Yes, I did. But was I the exact man I wanted to be? No. Close. Damn close. Now I'm kind of there. And again, this was the plan all along. I've been planning this for many years, this 2026 transition. You guys who've been knowing a long time, been talking about this for years, haven't I? Where I'm going to change everything in 2026. Okay. So now, this is how I view it. I'm entering game two. Whole different game. Whole different set of rules. Whole different set of goals. Whole different set of standards. And this is where I gain the rewards and the experiences of the man I always wanted to be. And then I experience exponential growth, which was not possible during game one. What was possible during game one was linear growth in these areas. And I had consistent linear growth. So I've had consistent linear growth in my woman life since 2007. And I've accomplished things that I didn't think I'd be able to accomplish. Most men establish a linear growth in their woman life for about 3, 4, 5 years, and then they get married. So they only have woman growth 3, 4, 5 years, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 years, then they get married or monogamous, so they settle down monogamously. I didn't do that because that's insane. I kept going for almost 20 years, and I'm still going. Okay. I've experienced linear growth in my income. Starting when I was 18 years old, I did not go to college because I wasn't stupid. I went right in the work world. And I was making 6-figure income in the 90s, which was a lot of money back then. Then 6 figures, then higher 6 figures, and 7 figures, and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Ups and downs with my net worth because I did get divorced and things like that. So I'm not saying I accomplished nothing during game one. I did. But game one was R&D and preparation. Game two, starting now, really in the next few months, definitely April 20th, my real life begins, if that makes sense. Caleb, that's crazy. You're 54-year-old. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. That's how I'm looking at this. I'm very happy about this. I'm not sad about this. This is awesome. This is awesome. You have no idea how excited I am about this shit. You have no idea how, especially the last few weeks, I've been getting ready for this stuff. Woo! And I already live a good life. So. This is what I mentioned earlier. I am now acting not because I want something, but because I am something. So I am working in my businesses, not because I want to make a lot of money. I'm working in my businesses because I'm a businessman. And that's what I love, and that's what I'm good at. And that's how I help the world, and that's how I have the universe flow through me. I'm not engaged in my woman life because I want to get laid. I get laid all the time. Solved that problem a long time ago. I'm in my woman life because of who I am as a mature alpha male 2.0 who's lived all these experiences and wants to experience something long-term for the next 25 years with a few special people. Because of who I am, not because of what I want. I have everything I want. Do I have literally everything I want? No, but on the macro, I have everything I want, and I've had everything I want for quite a while. So it's not about trying to want something. It's about who I am. I talked about this earlier. Instead of retiring, instead of working for money, I'm going to cover that in a few minutes. I am expressing who I am in the marketplace, and spiritually through I am as a component of this universe, of this construct we find ourselves in. If this makes no sense, don't worry. It doesn't need to make sense. You're probably not 54. It's all right. And I don't mean to demean you when I say that. Okay. If you're 27, you don't need to be worried about the universe. My businesses will become, by April 20, an engine for freedom for my freedom, not work, freedom, not Caleb's work, Caleb's freedom. I'll be more specific in a minute. And the freedom for others to help you guys become more free. Now, they already were, but they were primarily an engine for making money. Instead of making money, the engine now is creating more freedom for Caleb and the people who are a part of Caleb's orbit, Caleb's world. My audience, my customers, my clients. Okay? Rather than a means to create income. Will my businesses continue to create income? They will make more money. How do I know this? I have talked to multiple people who are financially successful, and they've all told me, people who are financially successful now, they said, once I stopped trying to make money and just did whatever the hell I wanted, because that's what I want to do in my business, in terms of business, I made way more money. My income just shot up like a fucking cannon. That's how this works. Now, if you have no money, that doesn't work. You need money. But once you have a certain level of money and you say, I'm not going to do this anymore, there are several of you in my audience, more than several, you guys know you're at that point. You've made your money. You've made plenty of money, or maybe you're about to have an exit. There's about, God, I'm talking like 6, 7 different guys who are about to have exits. You're about to do an exit, get a mountain of money. Guess what? Now it's time for you to build a business that you want and not worry about money. And guess what? You'll make more money in the second business than the first business. I've seen it over and over and over again. So I am going to make more money. It's guaranteed. But that's not the objective of what I'm doing. I'm doing it because of who I am, not because of what I want. So the way I'm structuring this for myself is starting April 20th, when I go to this 4-day work week. I might do the 4-day work week sooner than that. If I'm feeling good about where things are in terms of my delegation and my operations and things like that, I might go to my 4-day work week in fucking, March, February. Don't know. But the deadline, what's going to happen about what? And I've told everybody this. I'm going to a 4-day, not 4 hour. It's Tim Ferriss. 4-day work week, April 20th, no matter what else happens. I don't care what's going on. It's going to happen, period. So what I'm going to do is, this is how I've structured this. I have a passion engine and a cash engine. So the passion, do I have it on here? Yeah, so the passion engine are things I'm doing in my business, projects that I'm working on, things that I'm designing, things that I'm selling, things that I'm marketing, that I want, that I like. And I don't care how much money they make. I don't give a fuck. One of the things is a comic book. Do I expect to make a lot of money in a comic book? No. But it is going to be a funnel, so actually will make money on the back end. Anyway, it's because I want to work on it. Not because I think it'll make any money. I don't care how much it makes money. The passion engine, okay? But then I have a cash engine. So the cash engine is stuff I do for the money. Make sense? So I'm going to spend time in the passion engine doing the passion projects. And if they make money, great. If they don't, I don't care. And then I'll spend time in the cash engine, and that needs to make money. That needs to have a definitive ROI. I'm going to do both. So currently my plan is I'm going to work 4 days a week. 3 of those 4 days will be in the passion engine. 1 of those days will be in the cash engine. Working on projects for the money, because I know they make a lot of money. And the other 3 days will be things I want to work on irrelevant of the money. And again, I have a feeling what's going to happen is within a year or two, my passion engine will be making more money than my cash engine. I could be wrong. That's why I'm doing the cash engine, just in case. Because I can't definitively say that. I can't definitively point to a spreadsheet and say, this is definitely going to, I just know spiritually and in my heart that that's probably going to occur. But in case it doesn't, I have Alpha Male 2.0 is about redundancy. Make sure I'm covered. So that means if you think this through, I'm going to have 3 days off of recreation, real recreation, not jerking off to porn, not playing video games all day, not watching TV, not watching movies. That's not recreation. That's bullshit. Recreation, recreation. That's where the word comes from. Hiking, going outside, spending time with my PDMs, spending time with friends. I have friends now. Amazingly, I have fucking friends now. Playing games like chess, meditating, swimming, shit like that. Spending time with animals. Real shit. So 3 days a week that, 3 days a week in passion, and then 1 day a week in cash. Perfect. I still have financial goals, but they are part of my 25-year plan and thus less urgent. So I have financial standards for my 25-year plan. I don't have goals. It says goals. You can't set goals for 25 years. You can't set a financial goal for 25 years from now. We may not have money in 25 years. Are you kidding with AI? Okay. But I can have standards. Here's how I choose to live. Here are my minimal standards for these things in my life over the next 25 years. So I have standards. So I have financial standards. Instead of I will make X in 2051. You can't do that. Okay. New content for 2026. This is my big shift in content. It's big. I've never done this before. It may damage my brand. It may damage my income, but I don't care because I want to talk about it. So I would have done this 5 years ago. Now, no problem. I don't give a fuck. Here's what's going to happen. This is where it gets sad and dangerous. And this isn't anything new based on my content. Because of a number of things that are occurring now and will get worse over the next several years. I talked about it, I did a video on this back in 2020, 21, where I said the Western world, and in some ways the entire world, has entered into an economic, cultural, and political dark age that will probably last several decades. We are now 5 years in this dark age, and it's getting worse. It's going to get a lot worse. So because of things like the collapse of the USA and the rest, unfortunately in 2025, which has been dramatically accelerated by Donald Trump in ways I didn't even anticipate. I didn't anticipate the collapse would accelerate in 2025, even with Trump. But Trump exceeded even my expectations and has accelerated the collapse of the United States. I've written articles about my blogs, go read my blogs. And also the government of the UK, just as bad as Trump. They've accelerated the collapse of the UK, London, etc. Okay? Because of these things, because of AI potentially destroying up to $100 million jobs, 100 million jobs. We don't know the exact number, but it's already happening now. It's already happening now, just like I said it would happen 3 years ago. And people said, no, it's not, Caleb. Okay. Because of what may happen, this is a maybe, where we converting to a cashless, moneyless society where AI takes over the economy of the first world countries, and we have a UBI, universal basic income, or an AI communist utopia, which will be disgusting for people like me, but great for losers. That, then with AI, and this is happening now, where you have AI versions of games. You think gaming is addictive now? Wait till you have AI games. Oh my God. Porn, drugs, porn. Ugh. You think men are addicted to porn now? I've already seen. Some of you sent me little things of AI porn, and I've talked about porn. I don't like porn. I think Pornhub is disgusting. I'm confused as to why you millennials and Gen Z like that. If I need to watch porn, and rarely because I have a lot of sex, I'll watch 1990s porn when women actually look pretty and no one was full of tats. And women were going, oh yeah, baby, oh yeah, baby. And 75% of the porn was a woman sucking a guy's dick. I don't know why you guys like that. So I don't like porn. But this AI porn, what little I saw, I don't like porn, and even I liked it. I'm like, this looks goddamn good. So if I hate porn and I think it looks good, what's going to happen to the millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of men all over the world, including Asia, by the way? This has infected China, Japan, Korea, United States, Canada. This is all over the world. This is all over the planet. Women are complaining about this. AI porn is going to enslave, and I mean that word literally, enslave an entire generation of men. You think it's bad now? Wait, watch, just watch. Okay, that, and then perhaps drugs. When you have AI created drugs, you may have things like heroin, all kinds of stuff that doesn't have side effects. Okay, that's coming. Some of it's already here. With all of this shit that's happening now and going to get worse over the next several years, the biggest problem people are going to have is meaning. It won't be getting laid. It won't be eggs cost too much money. You'll have those problems also because of people like Trump. Yes, you'll have those problems as well. But the biggest problem will be if you don't know who you are and why you're here, you will be sucked in by all this shit. So if you don't have, and the vast majority of men and women don't have this today, I know this because this is what I do. If you don't have a strong sense of purpose, of meaning, of mission, of who you are, of why you're here, you're going to crack under what's coming. And I hate to say this, that's the majority of you listening to the sound of my voice. Majority of you are not going to pay attention to meaning and who you are and these kinds of things and 5 flags, escape the client. You're not going to do any of this stuff. You're just going to say, Nick Fuentes has some really good points, Caleb. And you're fucked. You're going to be crushed by this stuff. And many of you already have. Many people already have. There are people in my life, in my business life, in my personal life, who have been consumed and destroyed by this political shit. People on the left and people on the right. People on the right who've just become psycho tradcon Christians who worship Trump and they don't make any sense anymore. They used to be normal. People on the left, a lot of them women who become hardcore extreme feminists who say all men, not some men, all men are evil and all men are rapists. And they weren't like that 6-7 years ago. I know people like this on both sides, on both sides, on both sides. And it's sad. And it hurts my heart to see these people because these are eternally unhappy people. When they were happy people, they were normal people close to me, people in my family or extended family, people ex-FBs, ex-MLTRs, people I've worked with. So this means to have a full understanding of who you are, why you here, why are you here, what is your reason for existing in this universe, in this construct, God, creation, mission, purpose, all these things. You need to know the answer to these 3 questions. Who am I? If I say, who are you, and you say your name, that's not who you are. You're not Joe Smith. If I say who you are and you tell me what you do for a living, that's not who you are. It's not. Okay? My name's Bob. I'm an IT guy. That's not who you are. Are you your job? Are you your name? No. What am I? Which is different than who am I? What are you? I know what you are. You're a little tiny piece of the universe observing itself. I'll cover that in a few more minutes later in this live stream. What are you? I'm a human. No, you're not. Or if you are a human, what is a human? Why am I here? Why do you exist? Why were you created? Why were you born? Now, you weren't created, you were grown. Why were you grown? Why? Why did God or the universe or Allah or whatever term you like, why did he create you? To have babies. That's not why he made you. That's not why he made you. That's why he made humans to perpetuate the species. You're right on that one. Why did he create you? There's a reason. I'm going to cover this in a little bit. I'm going to answer in a very quick way these questions for you so you can get started on this journey. If you don't know the answer to these 3 questions, then all this garbage is going to destroy you. You'll be like the common joke. You'll be the swimming in the next to the Titanic is going down. You're in the ocean. You're drowning. And your last words will be, but Kamala would have been worse. And then you'll drown and die. That'll be you. Or if you're left, we're going, but men are all rapists. Okay, great. So my content in 2026 is going to shift into helping people answer those questions. Purpose, meaning, and mission. I've already done a lot on mission, so I'm already ahead of the game. And if you're in my audience, if you've been reading my books and stuff, doing my courses, whatever, you're already way ahead of the game, which is great. We had a really good mission workshop a few weeks ago, didn't we? It was really good. You guys really liked it. I was shocked. Great. So you're ahead of the game on that. Not enough. Is mission why you're here? Sort of. You also have purpose, meaning. The meaning behind your mission. This gets really deep. So that's why I'm here. Part of my mission and my purpose is to protect you from all that garbage. Protect those of you who are willing to do the work to protect yourselves, which is only 10% of men. As I've been saying for 20 years, I'm not here to save men. I'm here to save 10%. 90% of men are going to say, let your women fuck other guys. I would never, Andrew Tate said, and then they're going to be angry the rest of their lives. So, yes, I will still talk about dating and business to a degree. I'm not going to let those topics float away. Those are critical too. You need to be having sex if you're a man, period. You need to be making location-dependent income from your own business that you own and control, period. These are non-negotiables. So yes, I will still be discussing those topics. Yes, yes. A lot of you are terrified I'm going to stop talking about these things. I'm not. What do I say in The Unchained Man? Those who read that book, my primary book, The Unchained Man, alphamailbook.com. What do I say? The primary foundation of your long-term happiness as a man are two things: sex and money. You need these things. You don't need $1 billion. You don't need to hook up with 100 girls. That's not what I said. You need to have regular sex and good, strong location-dependent income as a baseline for life. Then when you have that baseline, then you can explore things like meaning, purpose, spirituality, having children, family, shit like that. Okay. How to plan your year and quarter. Let's answer a few more questions. Every time I do a topic shift, I'll answer a few questions. You're really a never Trumper? No, a never Trumper is a Republican. I'm not a Republican. I'm a libertarian. Therefore, I hate Donald Trump. With one bill, he increased federal spending by $4 trillion, which is more than Joe Biden. So yeah, I don't like Trump. If you like Trump, then you must like authoritarianism and big government, because I don't. Let's see here. Do you see opportunity within that for the guys who don't fall into those trends? AI porn. Opportunity for what? If you won't fall into the porn, you're going to fall into something else. What happens if you get fired? AI takes over your job, and then you get UBI. The government's going to pay you $500 a month to live in a little tiny studio apartment. What's the meaning of your life at that point? That, for example, not just AI porn. I listed 7 or 8 things. Have you also noticed the West people's attention span is getting worse? Yeah, I did an entire live stream a few weeks ago. Go look at my Unchained CEO channel, 100 reasons why the United States is collapsing, and I cover that in detail. The average Westerner has the attention span less than that of a goldfish. Scientific fact, go watch that live stream or read my book, Freedom Fortress. Yeah, it's not that I've noticed, it's true. That's some Alan Watts you're throwing down there. Yes, Alan Watts is fantastic. I've been consuming his content for a long time. Mm-hmm. What opportunity do you see for the guy? Okay. Have you also noticed the way? Okay. Are you a fan of Dave Shapiro AI? Yes, I love Dave Shapiro. I like him a lot. I don't agree with everything he says, but I like him. Yep. I've seen all these things, and AI porn specifically is getting to a crazy level, even animated one. I think this is new content, and purpose is something I really need. Cool. Time for the next secret word. Thank you, James. You're right. Let's do that. I got to make it up on the spot. Let's say, what's the secret word? The secret word is, let me think this through. It can't be something I'm seeing. Okay. You ready? That's the next word. Write it down. Don't put it in the chat. It doesn't matter if it's caps or not. Okay. Remind me for the last one. We'll do it later. Do you think World War III is possible? Everything is possible. Is World War III likely? I've been saying this for many years. I wrote an entire article about it. World War III, as you understand it, is very unlikely. The elites would lose too much money. The elites who control the world do not want World War III. What do they want? Lots of little proxy wars. What's going on in Israel, what's going on in Ukraine, what's going on in Africa. They like those. Those are great for the elites. They're extremely profitable. They're great politically. They love lots of little wars. So you're going to see lots and lots of little wars. You're probably not going to see World War III. How the hell do you get financial news to make financial decisions? Financial news is just as insane as political news now. It is exhausting. Correct. You need to have multiple sources, left-wing, right-wing, libertarian, and international, and then you just get a consensus. Do the best you can. Will you delegate 90-Day Business Builder to mostly other coaches in your new phase, or will we run without you? It already is delegated to most coaches. Most coaching in 90-Day Business Builder is not me. But I will still be involved in 90-Day Business Builder. Yes. What's the biggest impact you think AI will have? There's too many to list. And I would only be guessing. Can't see it? Did you guys see the word or not? Say yes or no. Don't say the word. Did you guys see the word or not? I'll wait. Okay. Enough of you are saying yes. I'll do it one more time. Most of you saw it. Pay attention, fuckers. I'll put it on this side of the screen. I'll put it on this side of the screen. I'll do it sideways, this side of the screen, in case you're watching on your phone. I'll do it over here. Okay? Okay. Don't say the word. Why game but not FAP? I don't understand the question. Would you say people are also becoming more socially awkward? People in their 20s are, yes. Other people, no. What if a high-end MLTR of many years wants to complain about your behavior to you, but does so calmly for 10 to 20 minutes? How to handle? You don't let her go for 10 to 20 minutes. It takes exactly about 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds for someone to describe what they don't like about you. She doesn't need 10 to 20 minutes. So that was your fault. You cut her off at 1 or 2 minutes. You say, can you summarize it? Summarize it 1 or 2 minutes. No, I have to talk for 20 minutes. That's drama, even if she's saying it nicely. No one needs 20 or 10, even 10 or 5 minutes to describe all the things wrong with you. There's 1 or 2 things she doesn't like. She can state those in 60 seconds or less. Okay. If you were late on the first word, you got to watch the replay. You said before, don't give hints about the word. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. What's the secret word for didn't catch the first one? Watch the replay. All right. Next topic. How to plan your year and a quarter. I'm just going to kind of give you the basic techniques on what I use. I have covered some of these things before, so I'm not going to go into great detail about this, but this is germane to this date. This is, as I talked about earlier, late December. Why is it getting warm in here? If it gets any more warm in here, I'm going to turn up the AC. It may just get worked up. Late December or the month of December is the best time to plan the next year of your life or big chunks of your life, like I just planned the next 25 years of my life. Hallelujah. So this is how you do this. Now, I follow maybe I have this in the slides here. Yeah, I follow a 12-week year model. So what I do, I recommend it. You don't have to do it because some people just don't think this way. I don't think in terms of years, or 365-day years. I think in terms of 3-month years, 12-week years. So to me, this is the end of 2025-4. And on January 1st, it'll be 2026-1, which is the first quarter of 2026. And I consider that a year. So January, February, March is a year to me. And I plan that entire, quote, year. So I base my entire world around quarters. And the people I work with who I consider role models, guys in their 70s who make gazillions of dollars but don't work very hard, my coaches, people like Dan Sullivan, all those people, they focus on quarters. They do not focus on years. They do not focus on months. They do not focus on weeks. They don't set 5-10-year goals. Most of them, some of them do. They focus on quarters. So I say here how to plan your year/quarter, whichever you want to do. They're both similar. First, here's the steps. First thing you do is you sit down and you review your wins from the last quarter. What were awesome wins that happened in the last quarter? And you write down at least 3 of them. Nothing happened. Don't be a dumbass. Don't be a pussy. Write down at least 3. At least 3. You'll probably have more than 3 because 3 months is a long time. When I wrote down my wins for this quarter, it was a list of like 12 things long. It was amazing. All your wins. What were your wins? What did you get done? What did you accomplish? What problems did you overcome? What new things that happened to you that were good? You write them all down. It's very important. You always start with wins whenever you do any strategic planning. Critical, because you want to start from a place of confidence. When you're more confident, it creates competence. Competence raises the odds of you achieving your goals. Okay. Then what you do is, next thing is you review the list of projects or goals, either one, that didn't get done, that you wanted to get done by the quarter, but you didn't get done. Often you'll have 1 or 2 of these things. I had 1 or 2. So you write those down. Okay, I didn't get this quite done. I didn't get this quite done. This needs to get done. Then what you do is you list out every project. A project is not a goal. Every project that you want completed by the end of the quarter. In all the areas of your life, you'll have work stuff. You might have personal stuff. You might have fitness stuff. You might have 5 flag stuff, whatever it is. Write it all down. Then what you do is these are projects you want to get done. These are not goals. I want to make X per year or X. I want to make X amount of money by the end of the quarter. That's a goal. A project is make my new website about blank. That's a project, not a goal. You understand the difference? Project is an activity with a result. Goal is only a result that you may or may not have control over. Then what you do is you're probably going to get a big fucking list. You don't want a giant list. So what you want to do now is cull the list. What can you defer, delete, delegate? Defer, delete, delegate. What can you put off? What can you delegate to someone else, especially if those who have businesses and people who can help you? But maybe you have, an OLTR wife. She can do some of this stuff for you. I don't know. Whatever you've got. If you can delegate that to someone, great. And what can you just not do? You may go through the list and go, you know what? I don't need to do this. Cross it off the list. I don't need to do this ever. Or you might say, well, this project really is a subset of this project. I'll just cross it off and put a few to-do items in this other project. Reduce the number of projects. You don't want 27 projects. A lot of you guys do this. What are your projects you want to get next quarter? And this giant list of 27 things. That's not going to work, dude. Can't do that. You're not Superman. You're not Elon Musk. Neither am I. Now, then, with all this raw material, your wins, your incompletes, your project list, you then go to your big set of goals, wherever those are. You should have some big goals. I call that in Alpha Male 2.0 your vision. And those who have a mission, you're over 30, a mission. You get all that shit together. This is your raw material. And from all that, you pull out 3 goals, max 3. What? Yes, you can only have 3. And this is scientific. You can only have 3 goals a quarter. I know that sucks. I know it's hard. I know you want 8 goals. I know. You only get 3. You can have more than 3 projects, but a project isn't a goal. The last several quarters, for me, it's been an income goal and a weight loss goal. And that's it. That's 2. 2 is better than 3. 1 is even better. Now, you might have a woman goal. I don't know, whatever you have. Max 3. And it's going to take you some time to narrow it down to just 3 because you're going to go, good damn it. If you have definitely more than 3, then take ones that you can defer into the next quarter. Or maybe you could turn into a project. You can't have more than 3. I'm sorry, you can't. 1 is better than 2. 2 is better than 3. 3 is okay. You can't have more than 3. I've tried to have 5 goals, 6 goals in a quarter. No, won't work. Make sure these 3 goals are from your long-term goals, vision, and or mission, / projects, / wins from last quarter, / incompletes from last quarter. That's your raw material for these 3 goals. Whenever I sit down and do my planning for the next year, which I call a year, which is a quarter, I pull out my vision, I pull out my mission, I pull out my big goals, I pull out a spreadsheet, something called, I've talked about this before on my other content, something called my perfect number. How much money do I want to make ultimately? And where does that money go in a typical month of I pull all this out I look at it. I said, okay, what are the 3 things that I can do the 3 goals that I can hit the next 90 days that will get me closer to these conditions? Projects and goals are 2 different things. Projects are things that need to get done. Goals are results. So if it's build a website for blank, that's a project, not a goal. If it's, I want to make, I want my new business to make $8,000 a month, 3 months in a row by March 31st, that's a goal. I want to weigh X amount of pounds or kilos by blank, that's a goal. Project would be sign up for a gym and start going to the gym. That's a project. Or hire a personal trainer. See my point? See the difference? So goals can be attached to projects. That's all right. What you do then is you reverse engineer the 3 goals. So you take each goal one at a time and you make a list of all the things that need to happen for that goal to occur. A list of everything that needs to occur. What must be done to achieve each of your 3 goals? Then you go back up and you attach date deadlines to each one of these items. Specific date on the calendar. January 12th, February 14th, Valentine's Day, whatever. And some of you could just say quarter, CTR, that means by the end of the quarter. That's okay. If it's before the quarter, a lot of them are, you put a date. Well, Caleb, I don't know. Then be easy on yourself. Don't be super aggressive. So if you're like, I don't know exactly how long it's going to take, well, what'd you think? Well, I guess maybe a month, then give it 2 months or 6 weeks or 7 weeks. Be easy on yourself. Then what you do is, this is something that took me years. I didn't learn this until 6-7 years ago. This is a big one. Then what you do is you make another list of all the obstacles or problems that may arise that will prevent you or damage you from hitting those goals. What are the risks? What are the problems with the obstacles? Well, this could happen. Well, that could happen. Well, this will probably happen. Well, that might happen. Well, this might happen. Make a list. Sounds negative. This is very important. Okay. Then what you do is on the next column next to that, on each item, you put how do you mitigate or overcome this obstacle? I was a member of a program called Strategic Coach many years ago. It's for people who make more than $250,000 a year. And this is one of the things I got from them is every plan needs to have obstacles and problems that will arise and then a list of how you overcome or prevent or mitigate those problems. You can't just have a to-do list because shit's going to come up. So what could come up? Including shit you will fuck up. What are things you might fuck up? So whenever I'm doing weight loss goals, I'm always putting in there, well, Caleb, could fuck this up, fuck that up. Maybe you are the problem sometimes. It could be other people are the problem. It could be a combination. So you write all that down and you say, okay, how do I mitigate, prevent, or overcome these obstacles? Now, and somebody might say, well, I can't overcome these obstacles. That's not possible. Well, then how can you mitigate it? That's what mitigate means. Not solve, mitigate. Make it less bad. I find this quite overwhelming. Is it okay to just start with your 3 goals? You can do whatever you want. This works best. Sure, if you find this overwhelming, then fine. Do whatever you want. Then you're done. So then what you do is you take your project list and your obstacles list. You keep that handy for whenever you plan your week. So whenever I plan my week every Sunday, I just did it a few hours ago. I pull out my list of shit for the quarter, my list of obstacles for the quarter, and I pull on that to design my perfect week. What can I get done this week in terms of activities to address these projects and these goals? Makes planning your week very easy because you have a direction. What you can then do, and I do this, is, boy, do I do this a lot. You can visualize what it looks like at the end of the quarter. When all these projects are done and the 3 goals are hit, what will your life look like? How will it change? How awesome will that be? And you visualize how that makes you feel. You don't just say, I make more money now and I can buy a new car. No. You visualize, oh my God, this is so awesome. Now I can do this and this and this. Now I can actually move out of the country. Now I can get that da-da-da. Now I can move out of this shitty apartment. Oh my God, that kind of stuff. For example. Okay. Brief item here. Some of you already received emails on this. For the next 2 days, because this started yesterday, if you want, you can get every course I have ever done and every book I have ever written. That is over $12,000 of stuff. If you were to buy it independently, all in one package for $597 or less. Just for the next 2 days until Tuesday night, December 30th. You can get the entire thing for $597 only for 2 more days. I'm not going to let this go for more than 2 days. You kidding? Or if you want just the dating stuff, you don't care about the business and Five Flags International, you can get just that for $347. Or if you don't want the dating stuff, you just want the business and Five Flags International stuff, you can just get that for $347. Same thing. This is $6,000-$7,000 worth of stuff. If you already own a bundle like this, I know a lot of you do, great. What you can get if you want is all the new courses minus the ones I had to do personally. I've done since last August, which were some of the best ones I have ever done based on feedback I got from you guys. So that would be Worldwide Woman Mastery, How to Date Women in Other Countries, Zero to Clients, which is how to get a niche, Sugar Daddy Advantage, which is my entire course on Sugar Daddy game, which I've never done before, and Mission Blueprint, which guys told me was the best training they ever did. Excuse me, that I have ever done. I had 3 or 4 different people independently tell me, Caleb, that was the best training you have ever done. It's how to find your mission. So you can get all that over $1,000 for $297. Just for 2 more days. Tuesday night, this all ends. This is a holiday thing I'm giving you guys. On top of that, if you get any of the bundles, so there's a total of 4. There's everything, dating only, business only, and only the new stuff. Okay? Regardless of which one you get, you also get 2 live training labs with me in January. So when you sign up, when the promotion is over, okay, so next week, everyone who's bought these bundles is going to vote on a number of topics, and I'm going to do 2 one-hour live trainings with just you guys in January on those topics. You're going to tell me what topics you want me to cover, because I don't want to pick for you. I want you to tell me. You get that? That's $500 I would charge for that. No problem. You get that for free. You also get, this is where it's going to make you buy this. If you buy any of these bundles, any of them, including the cheaper ones, you get a $500 credit toward anything I offer, anything I sell, anything. Now, most of these options are under $500. The most expensive one is $569, which makes basically these bundles free. So if you plan on getting something else the next few months, now here's the thing. What's the catch, Caleb? You got to use it before March 31st, the end of the first quarter. That doesn't last forever. This applies to everything, including things like Business Builder, everything. You can apply this to anything you want. Anything. Anything. Whenever I do things like this, and this is a technique you can copy from me, I want to make you feel stupid for not buying it. So this is basically free because you get a $500 credit. You're spending $500 or less. There's no reason not to do this. I do this on purpose. This entire offer goes away 11:59 p.m. PST, Tuesday night, December 30th. The websites are gone. They will go away. So here are the links. If you want the whole bundle or the dating only bundle or the business international bundle, they're all available on the same page. You click the button that says full bundle, and then you have a choice to pick one of the 3. Caleb.top/mastery suite. You can go there right now if you want. If you just want it's called the latest and greatest bundle. You just want the latest ones, those 4 ones, the latest ones, because you already have a bundle like this. Caleb.top/last EST. Last EST. Caleb.top/last EST. Both these websites go away the evening of Tuesday. I'm not going to let you buy $12,000 of my stuff for a few $100 forever. That would be insane, but it's the Christmas spirit. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Okay, you got that? Got that? I'm going to move on. Write these down or make a note of these or go there now or whatever, because this And again, every time I do this, Wednesday morning, I'm going to give you, oh, Caleb, I just forgot and I didn't do it. Can I do? No. Hard deadline, midnight or 11:59 PST. Tuesday night, December 30th. I'm giving you plenty. If you're on my mailing list, I already told you guys yesterday. So I'm going to do this for 4 days. Today's Sunday. You got all day today, all day tomorrow, all day on Tuesday. Cool. Okay. Let's do a few quick questions. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay. I might go another hour here. I might need to run for a bathroom break. We'll see how powerful my bladder is. So far, I'm okay. It seems like anyone over 35 has better social skills these days than younger people. Why is this the case? Your phone. We're not addicted to your phones like younger people are. What did your social look like in your 30s and 40s? I didn't have one. I'm an introvert. I have had no social life. I hang out with lots of women because of my dating life, and I work with lots of people. So I have all the fucking social interaction I need without having a social life. So I'm not a hermit. I talk to people all fucking day long. But in terms of having like friends who are not part of my business and I'm not having sex with, I don't have any. I do now. I've changed and I've grown. But I'm doing part of life now. What would you tell your 37-year-old self? Get to work, which I did when I was 37. Do you think men in their 30s and 40s should avoid spiritual life completely? Or dedicate a Sunday to growing spirituality a little bit each week? I have been very clear about this. I think that men and women under the age of 50 should not hardcore lean into their spiritual lives. Why? You will become religious. You'll become a tradcon Christian or an angry Muslim. And then either way, you're going to be mad the rest of your life. If you're a tradcon hardcore Christian or hardcore Muslim, you're just going to be angry at the whole world the rest of your life. So that's what I usually see when I see guys in their 20s, 30s, even 40s, when they lean into spirituality, they just grab onto a religion and go, oh, this is the truth. This book written thousands of years ago is the exact truth, or else you're an a-hole. That's not spirituality. That being said, now, because of the collapsing era in which we live, I think all people of all ages, 18 plus, need to at least get into the spiritual zone a little to understand those three questions. Who am I? What am I? Why am I here? Lean into it hardcore, I don't think it's a great idea. Unless you're very careful, but most people aren't. And I have seen a lot of young people really hit their spiritual life and they just turn into Christians or Muslims, which is a nice way of saying they're angry the rest of their lives because nothing in the world is traditional Christian or Muslim. We live in a left-wing collapsing world. What are the ways and techniques you advise to get a bigger following on social media, specifically Instagram and blogs? I am not the guy to ask about that. I don't have a big following. I make all my money from a very small following because I don't want a big following. I'm the opposite of Andrew Tate. I don't want to be famous. I don't want people to know who I am. I want to do the minimum amount of social media work to hit my income goals, which I've kind of done. So I'm not the guy to ask about that. Carbonite. Thanks, Carbonite. Where are we here? Do you use your community for your works like Discord? No, I watched the replay. You need to go to school.com for that. Should I wait until January 2nd to send follow-up emails or more emails now? Yes. Wait till January 2nd. Unless you're dealing with Asia. If you're dealing with the Western world, don't do any sales right now. Wait till January 2nd. You're wasting your time. I'm in outreach phase to ask my niche problems. Tattoo shop owners are too broad. Yeah, I kind of agree. You can narrow it down by region. Can I still narrow down and does this have potential? I'm doubting this. Do tattoo shop owners make a lot of money? I don't know. I don't love it. Men with various love boxes, such as Rasputin, can they live the alpha male 2.0 lifestyle? I have several love boxes now. I have PDMs. Yeah, sure. Or will they have too much drama if they love various women? It's not that if I love multiple women, I will create drama. It's that you don't know how to manage a relationship where you manage multiple women you love. You don't have the management skills. That's where the drama comes from. The drama doesn't come from you loving multiple women. The drama comes from you don't know how to manage A, multiple women, and B, multiple women you have strong feelings for. Men don't have that skill set. That's why you need to buy my stuff and learn the skill set, because that's what I teach. I've been teaching that since 2008. Brother, will you be involved with 90 Day Business Builder on August 2026? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. All right. Okay. Next topic. I need a bathroom break. I've been drinking a lot of this agua. So hang on, give me 2 minutes. I'm just going to turn off my video here. I'll be right back. And we're back. How do guys like Rolo do 3.5 hour live streams without taking a piss? How does that work? I drink a lot of water. That's it. I drink a lot more water than most people. So that's why I look so young and sexy. I drink a lot of water. All right. You know what? While I'm sitting here, I'm going to write down, I'm not going to show you. I'm going to write down the third word because I just thought of it while I was going to the bathroom. It's not a bad word, I promise. I won't offend you Christians or you feminists. Hang on. There we go. It's one of my favorite words. Okay. I'll show you later. Show you at the end. All right. Another drink of water. Hang on. Ookie. New stuff that I'm coming out with in 2026 that you can get if you want. Some of this will appeal to some of you. Some of you will think this is all stupid. But again, passion, don't care. Some of this stuff I care, some of this I don't. I think all these things I'm about to mention are my passion engine. There's a few of them I don't remember. I don't remember what category they fall into. But they all are designed for a purpose. They're all to as I talked about earlier, a freedom engine for myself and for you. B, to help you with these objectives and to help you survive what is coming and what is already here. And C, what I like to do. And D, what makes money. But it's the fourth priority. There you go. First thing, there's a few things. This is not, by the way, this list is not all inclusive. This is not everything I'm doing in 2026. I'm doing a lot, but these are a few things that came on the top of my head. Things I'm working on right now that are not just on the drawing board, things I'm actually, developing. I'm writing a new book. I've mentioned it several times, and I do not have a title for this. I title my books at the end when I'm done writing the entire thing. This one is part of the new content, part of the new direction. This book focuses on philosophy, spirituality, meaning, and outcome independence. And this is all from a rational, objective point of view. Unlike religionists and unlike most atheists, I have found that most atheists are just as insane and as irrational as hardcore Christians and Muslims. A lot of these left-wing atheists are just as weird and irrational as those people. Not all of them. I know I'm generalizing. And I'm not saying there aren't such things as rational Christians and rational Muslims. Those exist too, but that's not the norm. Matter of fact, the first chapter, I'm about halfway finished with the first draft of this book. It's going to be reasonably long. It's going to be longer than Freedom Fortress. At least I think so. No, it will be. It'll be longer than Freedom Fortress. The first chapter is, I could be wrong. And I state very clearly in that chapter, when you're discussing things like religion, spirituality, the nature of the universe, where you can't prove them or disprove them, you have to admit that you might be wrong. That's what rationality and objectivity means. You will never hear that from a Christian or a Muslim or most hardcore atheists. You won't hear them say, well, I might be wrong. Now, this Jesus guy may not have actually been the Son of God. I could be wrong on this. Have you ever heard a Christian? No. But if you're rational and you can't prove it or disprove it, you got to say, I'm pretty sure this is right. And what I say in the book is preponderance of the evidence. Based on the scientific data and the observational data we have about the world, the universe around us, we can draw some conclusions that are most likely accurate. So let me give you an example. Okay. Let's see. I use a lot of examples in the book. Let me give you an easy example. Okay. Hinduism. Okay. Hinduism is a religion. Is all Hinduism bullshit? No. Some of it's pretty good. For example, Hinduism talks about how we are all part of the universe. We are not separate from the universe. We are part of the universe observing itself. We're all one. Is there any scientific data that backs that up? Not proof, but evidence. Yes. There's lots of evidence of that. Evidence, not proof. If there were proof, then we would know which religion is right. But there's evidence. Now, Hinduism also says there's 350 gods, and these gods have like the head of an elephant and 4 arms, and his name is Wakachukalaku. Okay, is there any scientific data that shows there is a god with 7 arms with the head of an elephant named Wakachukalaku? No. So that's bullshit, that part. Now, I'm not picking on Hindus. Some of my best friends are Hindus. I live in Dubai. Christians. Christianity says prayer is good. Prayer will help you in your life. Is there any scientific data, factual, objective scientific data that shows that prayer helps you? Yes. Mountains of it. Yes. So prayer is good. So in that part of Christianity is great. Islam is even more hardcore about prayer than Christianity is. Islam, you got to pray 5 times a day. So Christianity talking about prayer, good. Christianity also says that one day the apostles were in a boat on the lake and Jesus walked on the water because he's a magical wizard. Is there any scientific data or third-party accounts that show that Jesus was a magical wizard who could walk on water and raise people? No. So that part's bullshit if you're being rational and objective. Okay. So the book covers all this stuff in great detail. I also cover things like morals, ethics, rights, religion, free will, rationality, freedom, visualization, life, and death. The little topics. Spirit of Black Dragon. Oh, I like that. That's a good title. It might be You Are a God, but I don't know. Everything in this book is Alpha Male 2.0 compatible. I am not changing my opinions. I am not Roosh. I'm not Andrew Tate. I'm not going to wake up and become a Muslim or wake up and become a Christian and say everything I was doing the last 20 years was bad. No, I've been right about these things. And so these are just additions and new features. This is not something I'm changing. I'm doubling down on this stuff. This is stuff I've mentioned in the past before in my other content. I have not changed my mind on these things. Monogamy doesn't work. Long-term sexual monogamy doesn't work. The Western world will collapse in your lifetime. These are all facts. It's not like, oh, wait, I've changed my mind now. Now that I have a girlfriend, I'm changing my mind. So that book, when is that book coming? Don't know. I do not have a deadline for this. I just work on it when I like it, and I love writing books. That is my passion, writing books. Oh my God, I love it. I love writing this book. Love it. I loved writing Freedom Fortress. I like writing this book about the same. But that's a lot because I love writing Freedom Fortress. This book is great. I love it. Next thing. This is big. This is coming sooner than the book. I am going to introduce, as a test, an Alpha Male 2.0 dating and relationship service, coaching service that I will be a part of personally, plus some other coaches, for men over the age of 40. I am strongly considering raising that to 45. Strongly considering that, probably 45. Or if you're between 40 and, so it's 45, and if you're between 40 and 44, you have to like apply. We can turn you down. What is this? Well, this service will focus on these topics for older men, because older men have unique needs that younger men don't have. Getting new women, younger women, sugar daddy game, anti-aging, OLTRs, and managing other long-term relationships, raising children in an Alpha Male 2.0 model set, managing multiple women, testosterone and health for older guys like me, and getting over a divorce, because that's a lot of you, or similar big long-term breakup, because that's what older men face. You don't have a lot of guys who are 25 getting divorced. You got a lot of guys who are 45, 55 getting divorced. So it's completely focused on that type of guy. You, if you're over the age of 45, you know you have a unique set of needs. I am uniquely qualified because that's me. I'm describing myself here. And that's going to be a big deal. What I'm going to do, see, is there anything else on that? Yeah, so what I'm going to do, again, I'm being transparent about this. I currently have a service called the 90-Day Multi-Woman Method. Some of you are in that course right now that I'm doing. And that is the Alpha Male 2.0 dating version of 90-Day Business Builder. What I'm going to do is a test, and that's a test also. It's a test to see how many people bought it and how well are they engaged in it and what the results are. Then I'm going to do this probably in January, February. Okay, soon. That'll be the next test. And whichever one makes more money and gets better results for the customers, that will then be the flagship for Alpha Male 2.0, the flagship coaching service. But Caleb, what about younger guys? Everything else I just talked about is for younger guys. All my stuff is cheap. All my books are cheap. All my content's free. It's all for you. Don't worry, I haven't left you behind. I'm just saying, if you're an older guy, you have unique needs. All the stuff I'm talking about with finding your purpose, that applies to younger men too. Matter of fact, I'm more worried about younger men than older men, because older men have their shit together. You don't find a lot of guys in their 50s addicted to porn. Those are young guys, right? So I'm helping you guys also. I'm talking about, this is one of the new areas I'm going to focus on as a test. If no one is interested in this, or if guys sign up and they don't do anything, they sit around, then I won't do it, and we'll do something else. It's a test. Black Dragon and Pink Firefly comic book. I'm doing this for a very specific reason. This is basically a funnel, front-end funnel for the Alpha Male 2.0 brand. The original concept for Alpha Male 2.0 back in 2014 was the front-end funnel product was the Unchained Man. It worked very well. I've made millions of dollars from that funnel. Thank you. Here's the problem. Collapse the West. People don't read books anymore. And the Unchained Man, unfortunately, is 560 pages. Some of you love reading big, thick books. Wonderful. You don't need to read a comic book. Matter of fact, you guys are the ones who say, comic books are dumb. Great. Don't buy this. Buy my books and read my books. Those are better. But for the other 80% of the market who don't read books anymore, and if they do audiobooks, the fucking audiobook for the Unchained Man is 42 hours or something. It's so long. They're not going to listen to the whole. I mean, some of them, a lot of you have. Great. So this is the front end funnel for the Alpha Male 2.0 brand for mostly cold people or semi-lukewarm people. If you hardcore love my stuff, you don't need to buy this unless you want to. It's fun. But that's the purpose. And it's fantasy, and I like writing fantasy, and I like writing the comic book. It's a lot of fun for me. It's great. It's a dark comedy fantasy. So I, 4 or 5 years ago, I did a test where I released a few issues with the artwork done by my daughter. Okay. About 5 years ago as a test. It was in conjunction with the NFTs I was doing 5 years ago, or 4 years, a long time ago now. The NFTs failed because of a number of reasons. That's fine. The comic book succeeded. It was very popular. We gave away certain ones for free, and we tracked the downloads, and very popular. As aha, guys like comic books with swords and blood and swearing and politically incorrect, with no woke shit, with girls with big tits. Awesome. So I'm doubling down this. So now we've redone the art. I'll talk about it in a second. So this is not something that I'm going to start doing a comic book now. Oh no. Issues 1 through 7 are done. 1 through 7. Issues 8 through 13 are completely written. I write them. AI does not write my content. AI does not write my content. AI does not write my content. I write it. AI does do a lot of the art. A lot of the art's AI art, but it's art plus an artist. I'll show you pictures in a second. I have the entire story arc written out to issue 35. So when I publish this, when I go to put this on the market. It's not like here's issue 1 or 2, and hopefully I'll get to issue number 3, which is what a lot of people do. I found in the comic book world, in the independent comic book world, they start this new comic, they have 1 or 2 issues, and then they get busy with work or their girlfriend yells at them, they stop doing it. This is a long-term thing I'm doing for the rest of my life. Not the rest of my life. Next 5, 6, 7 years at least. This is not on the slide. The plan for this is to if this works, and looks like it will, this will then morph into an animated series with AI animation. Awesome, because now I can do that. But want to do that for a long time. Pre-AI, if you didn't know, I didn't know this, so I went and did research it. 1 second of animation, even moderate shitty animation, is anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000 per second. So if it's a 30-minute episode of like Invincible or Justice League, it's a lot of money. But with AI, don't have that problem. So we're doing a big launch of first quarter 2026 and then new issues monthly. And again, it'll probably be a combination of a few issues might be free and then you pay for the rest. The funnel, you might get the first few issues, then you pay for the rest. And then you get into a funnel and then that sells the Unchained Man. And then that sells other courses. And now you're part of the Alpha Male 2.0 community. That's why I'm doing this. Other than the fact that I enjoy writing it. I really enjoy writing it a lot. It's a lot of fun. It makes me laugh. What I have done is, this isn't just something I'm whipping out of my ass. What I have done is I have reversed engineered the top 20 aspects. Matter of fact, I might bring them up here in a second. I could do, I mean, maybe not. The top 20 aspects of all the best-selling independent comic series over the last 15 years. I had AI do a bunch of research, and I did some research. What are the top 20 aspects? You take the top 10, top 15, top 20 best-selling independent comic books of the last 15 years. What did those best-selling comics all have in common? And it was a list of 20, and I am including damn near everything in that list in this comic book. Black Dragon, loosely based on me. Pink Firefly, loosely based on Pink Firefly. Minus the woke shit. No woke shit. None, because out of the 20 things, item 17 was strong, independent female characters. Okay, well, there's a few of those, but they're not girl bosses. And then it's a strong emphasis on LGBTQ. No. Nothing wrong with LGBTQ. If you want LGBTQ, watch any show on Netflix or any movie or any TV show, and you'll get all you want. So no. Okay, there's some images. This one here, can you see my mouse? So the big one here, that is the cover for issue number 8, I think. So that's an example of the artwork. So that we've improved the artwork a lot. Before it was my daughter, who was good. AI is better. And AI is faster. So there you go. So again, if you guys buy these, and they'll be cheap. It's a comic book. It's cheap. It's $1 or whatever the fuck it's going to be. You guys buy a lot of these. Have your friends buy a lot of these. I will do an animated series. That is the goal here. The goal is to do an animated series. But the comic book is proof of concept. I would like to just roll into the animated series, but I want proof of concept first because I only going to work 4 days a week. I can't waste my time. So there you go. So again, I mean, I've done issues 1 through 7. They're ready. They're ready to rock right now. They're ready to go right now. 1 through 7. And then I've written 8 through 13, and the arc I've written out to 35. Issue 35? Yeah. Okay. Next thing. I'm announcing this now. This is not the official announcement, but I'm announcing it now so you guys can start thinking about this. I haven't done this since 2018. Back in 2018, those of you who followed me back then, I went on an Alpha Male 2.0 world tour. And I hit about 22 different cities all over the world, and I did seminars. Okay. I'm going to do that again. A little smaller scale than what I did in 2018. I'm a little older, and I'm a little busier now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit a number of cities in the United States, a number of cities in Europe in 2026. And what I have done is I have geolocated the cities based on, so the American cities are the geographically located cities with the highest populations where you are most likely to live in or near one of these cities. Matter of fact, I'll do it right now here. So the United States, it's going to be Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Portland, because I have family there, and Dallas, Texas. So statistically speaking, if you're in the United States, why are you still in the United States? But don't get me started on that. Don't let it yell at you. If you're still living in the collapsing USA because you're insane, you either live in one of these 6 cities or it's a very easy, quick flight to one of these cities based on the geolocation and the population of these cities. Cool. You're able to take a really cheap flight. And what I'm going to do is keep these seminars very cheap, like $30 to get as many people who just show up as who wants to see me and hang out with me. So that's going to be in July of 2026. I do not have exact dates yet, but I'm giving you fucking 6 months notice to start thinking about this. They probably will not be on weekends. It's probably going to be in a weekday evening. That's the only way I can make it work. So if you don't have a job, great. If you have a job, you have to take off work early or something. Maybe at 6 p.m. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. Okay. But Caleb, what about Europe? So in Europe, I'm going to hit these cities in October and November of next year. These cities are based on the population size and the percentage of English speakers. That's how I determined these cities: London, Berlin, Paris, Madrid, and Rome. If I didn't pick your city in Europe is either too small or not enough people speak English. Not my fault. But again, if you live in Europe, you are likely able to fly to one of these cities relatively cheaply. You got really cheap airlines in Europe. Everything else in Europe is super expensive. So I'm going to hit those cities in October, November. It will be me personally. Here's how I'm going to do this to maximize the number of people who can join. Now, let me tell you why I'm doing this. First of all, I am not doing this to make money. This will not make me any money. Trust me. I'm going to do one very inexpensive full seminar and workshop, several hours, 2-3 hours, maybe a little longer. I'm going to keep it really cheap, like $30, $29, really cheap. So you have no excuse not to come. If you want to bring a friend, it'll be like another $10. You want to bring a friend. Why am I doing this? My personal brand. I'm leaning into my personal brand because that's my moat that protects me from AI. And we also have analytics that show that whenever people go to a live event that I do, they are much more likely to buy my more expensive stuff within 3 to 4 years. We have analytics on this. So people who show up for these may not make a lot of money now, but in a few years, I'll make more, assuming we have money in 5 years. Whatever. So I'll do that on day 1. I'm going to 2 days in each city. Then on the second day, I will do a coaching session that will be much more money, several $100s, maybe $1,000, where it's a few hours with like 5 people. Me with the max of 5 people, 3 to 5 people, where I coach with you in person, one-on-one. A small group, like 3 people, me plus 3 people or 4 people or something like that. And if I fill those up, maybe I'll do 2, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the morning. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. That's optional. So if you want to fly there, you can show up for the cheap session. If you want to spend a little morning, you can hang out with me. Cool? Cool. The topic of the seminar will be Alpha Male 2.0, location dependent income, 5 flags, spirituality. I'm going to hit all 4 of those things. And then a full Q&A. And I can talk about things that maybe I can't talk about here publicly on the internet because it's a smaller group. So I'm doing that. So there you go. If you want to do this, I'm giving you fucking 6 months notice or 9 months notice, 10 months notice. If you're in Europe, that's when I'm going to be in your city. Or that's when you can fly to see me in these cities. I'm keeping it really cheap, so there's no excuses. This is the last time I am ever doing this. I am never doing this again. And when I promote this, I'm going to really get into this. I am never doing a world tour like this ever again. I will still do live events, but like 2 a year. Traveling like this is a pain in the ass for me. I don't like it. I'm just doing this for the brand. That's it. Starting in 2027, I will do 1, 2, 3 events a year, and that's it. So like 1 event in Vegas and maybe 1 event in London, and that's it. So I don't know. I'm not saying literally those cities. I haven't to figure that out yet. But so I'll still do live events, but there'll be much less of them, and they will be much more expensive. What I would like to do, and I've discussed this with Billy several times, is starting in 2027, so not next year. What I would like to do is do a full Alpha Male 2.0 Unchained CEO, Caleb Unleashed, Caleb Unchained, I don't know, weekend, like a whole like convention, like Andrew Henderson does Nomad Capitalist Live, Alpha Male 2.0 Live, where we have like an entire, it's like 3-4 days long, 2-3 days long. And I do a lot of the presentations, and we have experts come in and people from my audience who've achieved, woman goals and that kind of stuff. Some of my 7-figure buddies can do some. I really like to do that. That's going to be hundreds of dollars though. And that won't be in 2027. So that's long-term shit. So this is the last time I'm doing this shit. You want to see me for cheap? There's your opportunity. And I'm done. I know what I'm going to get. Kayla, what about Australia? I can't hit Australia next year. I will do Australia in 2027. The problem with you Australians, it's not you Australians, I love you guys, is the geolocation of Australia is you're not near anything else. Australia is not near. Even in Dubai, it's a fucking 9-hour flight. So I will hit Sydney, Australia, probably in 27. Maybe Sydney, Melbourne. I don't know. Probably just Sydney. Yeah, just to throw you guys in there. And then if you're in New Zealand, you can come up and see me in Sydney. It's an easy flight, right? So I haven't forgot about you Australians. But a lot of Australians come to Europe. So come see me in Europe if you want. It's up to you. Will Andrew Tate be a guest speaker at Alpha Male 2.0 Live? I would not say no to Andrew Tate. It'd be fine. I agree with him on about 80% of stuff. That'd be hilarious. Stuff to put in. Okay. That's the end of the slides. How are we doing on time here? Ooh, I got to go soon. Ooh, okay. I haven't hit anything yet. Let me go back up to the, hang on. Let me switch the view here. Hang on. I got to cover politics, and then I got to cover spirituality, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to make these brief. And I'll give you the final word and we'll do the drawing. Cool? Cool. Let me have a drink. I might skip the politic thing because I just don't fucking care. I'll mention a little bit about it. Politics, really quick. This applies mostly to American politics, but those of you in England, you can relate because everyone's aware of the stuff that goes on in the United States. No, I'm not going to do the code yet. I'll do the code in a few minutes. When people voted for Donald Trump, first of all, context, if you don't know who I am, I hate the left wing. I hate the woke left. I am a minarchist libertarian. I hate the left and the woke left and the progressive left and the Hillary Clinton corporatist left more than you do if you're a Trump supporter. Because if you're a Trump supporter, you agree with the left on all kinds of shit, like free government health care. I disagree with all those things. So I'm totally opposed to the left. I've been opposed to the left since the early 90s, before many of you were born, just to give you context. But just because the left is wrong, and they are, and just because the left is insane, and they are, doesn't mean Trump is good or the right is correct. They've lost their fucking minds, and they lost their minds a long time ago, around Obama's second term, when you guys lost a culture war. Okay, so with that context, when people voted for Donald Trump back in 2016, most of them didn't realize they were voting for someone who would destroy their country, who was bad for their country. They thought Trump would, stupidly, he's going to build a wall. I said, no, he's not. Yes, he will, Caleb. He said so. And then you all look like idiots, and I was right. Okay. We've now moved to the next phase of collapse, cultural. Again, we're in the phase of cultural, economic, and political collapse, not technological collapse. Technology will continue to get better, for better or for worse. But we're in the next phase now of political collapse, where now people on the left have already done this. People on the left already support people they know are evil. So left-wingers support Gavin Newsom, even though they know he's evil. They don't care because they're insane. People on the right historically have not done this. They've supported evil people by accident. This is now in 2025, this has now flipped. And what has happened now is two things. One, when Jimmy Kimmel got canceled temporarily, the right said, yay, we hate free speech. Fuck free speech. We don't care. And they said, and many right-wing podcasters, pundits, people on the internet said, yes, we're supposed to be free speech, but you know what? Now, fuck it, I don't care. Jimmy Kimmel fucking sucks, and the left deserves it, so fuck it. I don't care if I'm not for free speech anymore. Problem number one. Problem number two is Nick Fuentes. So Nick Fuentes, I believe, is the second most popular live streamer in the world who thinks that Hitler is cool and Stalin is cool. But Caleb, he said very clearly, I know he said that he's not for genocide, all that shit. I know. He talks about having an Aryan uprising and all this shit. So now you have a lot of young, angry right-wingers who say, yes, this is racist. Yes, this is evil. I don't care. Just like Nick Fuentes said on Piers Morgan. Yes, Piers Morgan is a fucking moron. Yes. But just because Piers Morgan is a moron doesn't mean Nick Fuentes is right. Nick Fuentes went on Piers Morgan and said, yes, Piers Morgan, the typical fucking baby boomer. Are you a racist? And Nick Fuentes says, yeah, I'm a racist. Yeah, whatever. I can't believe you said you're a racist. Both sides are wrong. You have the stupid left-wing baby boomer who's clutching his pearls about racism. And then you have the little Nazi Nick Fuentes says, yeah, I'm a racist. Who gives a fuck? Fuck you. Okay. So now you have people embracing evil when they know it's evil and they don't care. This year, in addition to the 100 reasons why America is collapsing, which I covered on a live stream a few weeks ago, go watch the live stream or read the book Freedom Fortress. I think it's chapter 4. I give over 100 statistics, verified statistics of why America is collapsing, increased suicide rates, increased drug use, reduced attention spans, lower IQs, increasing skyrocketing federal debt, increasing personal debt, all those things, okay? In addition to all of that, you have all the things that Trump did this year. He's jacked up the tariffs. He's destroyed entire sectors of the economy. I work with people who sell stuff online because that's what I do. And I work with a bunch of 7-figure, 8-figure guys, and all of them have noticed past several weeks. Now, I have not had this problem, thankfully, because I have a good audience. But all of them notice that sales have gone down, and they all get together and they talk about why. And the number one reason they all tell me is the fucking tariffs. And these are people who support Trump. The fucking tariffs. Everyone's scared and terrified. Everything's expensive. And then Trump bombed Iran for literally no reason because Israel told him to. And then the Epstein files. And then the H-1B visas. And then the big, beautiful bill where Trump increased spending by $4 trillion in one bill, more than all the money Joe Biden spent the entire time he was president. And then Trump kicking out Elon. Okay, I could list all those things. If I say these things and all you have is Kamala would have been worse, you're fucked. You're fucked. You're fucked. Because that's all you have. If all you have is, well, Nick Fuentes has some good points, you're fucked. In the face of all that, if all you've got is Biden would have been worse, Kamala would have been worse, because that's all right-wingers have now, you're fucked. You need to leave the collapsing USA as fast as humanly possible. If you're in England, if you're in London, especially if you're in London, if you're in the UK, you need to leave the UK as quickly as humanly possible. Come to Dubai, they're all here. All the cool UK people are here, paying zero taxes. They're very happy here. If you're in America, you want to come to Dubai, it's too big of a flight, go. Mexico, Paraguay, Costa Rica, Panama. You have so many fucking options. You've got 24 countries that I've covered in my other topics that are less bad than the current collapsing 2026 version of the United States. And let me say it again. If all you've got when I talk about these things is Kamala would have been worse, you're fucked. And anytime you see any right-winger or Trumper on the internet defending Trump, it's a complete waste of their time because he is a big contributor to the collapse of the United States, as Kamala would have been, as Joe Biden was. Tell me I'm wrong with facts. Go ahead. You voted for Trump to build a wall to stop Mexicans from coming in the country, and 10 million illegals have entered the country since then, because as soon as Trump left, you got a left-winger who let them all in, which is going to happen again. You think you're going to have Republican presidents, a string of Republican presidents for the rest of your life? No, at some point, you're going to have a socialist left-winger in there like Gavin Newsom, who's going to fuck all this up and make it worse. And then you guys, your heads are going to explode until J.D. Vance gets in there and you'll say, yay, we won. And J.D. Vance will make it worse. And then the next person will make it worse. And the next person makes it worse. And then you're fucked. And if all you have is, well, the Democrat would have been worse, you're fucked. You have to stop embracing people collapsing your country, focus in on yourself, get a location independent business going where you're making at least $7,000 a month, location independent, and then at a minimum, set up an international backup plan where you have a second residency somewhere else. The 4 best countries are United Arab Emirates, Paraguay, Armenia, or Mexico. Pick the one you like the best or hate the least. You get residency there. You got a bank account there, and now you have somewhere to go if and when America collapses in your lifetime, which it will. That's the minimum you should do. The best you should do is fucking leave, or leave most of the year. I go back and visit the United States. I can visit my mom and my dad. If you leave the United States or Australia or wherever, it's not that you can never go back. You can go back whenever you want. My Paraguay PDM just got back today. She was in her European country visiting her family. She just got back. It's very simple. Especially if you go to like Mexico. America's right there. You can't go to Canada. They're collapsing too. You have got to wean yourself off of this political insanity of Kamala would have been worse, or Nick Fuentes has some good points, or Candace Owens. Oh my God. I told you Candace Owens 5 years ago was not an honest broker. She's lost her fucking mind now. She has these magical dreams that tell the future. Tucker Carlson says on podcasts, and I quote, "You're damn right, I'm for big government." You guys are all fucked. And right-wingers and Trump is not the answer. These people have become just as bad as the woke left. And if you say they're not quite as bad, again, you're fucked. If that's what you have. This gigantic tsunami, 10 miles high, is right about to crash into your city, right about to crash in your home. And you look up and says, well, Kamala would have been worse. And then you're dead. You've got to wean yourself off this stuff, guys. And most of you won't. Most of you listening to the sound of my voice, in the next stupid presidential election in 2028, when it's J.D. Vance, I don't know who it's going to be, but likely it's going to be J.D. Vance against someone like Gavin Newsom. Oh my God. J.D. Vance, who is there because of Peter Thiel, who I showed a clip of just a few weeks ago, where the interviewer said, humanity has a right to exist, right? And Peter Thiel's like, okay. That's the guy behind J.D. Vance. And that's who you dumb fucks are going to vote for in 2 or 3 years. Because you're going to say, well, Gavin Newsom would have been worse, or so-and-so would have been worse. You're fucked. You're fucked. I have talked to several people in the last few weeks. Several people. Some of you might be watching this. Some of these people aren't going to be watching this. In several of my companies. Pro-Trump supporters, right-wing, conservative-y, Republican-y guys who like Trump and hate the woke left. I've heard this from 3 people who directly said this, and other 2 implied this. They're like, America, this problem, that problem, this problem. And they go, Trump, I can't believe I'm saying this. They said this, not me. Trump fucking made it worse this year. These are pro-Trump people. If you think Trump is amazing, keep voting for Trump. Well, you can't vote for Trump anymore. He's gone in 3 years, 2 years. Great. You really are fucked. Just like these feminists who think that we should be more socialist, and thank God New York is being run by a communist. Yay. Those people are beyond help. If you have this inkling that maybe things are getting worse, even though you keep voting for horrible Republicans, it's time to leave. Can you leave America tomorrow morning? No. What I've said, I've been very consistent about this. Make plans to move out of the United States within 18 months. That would be the summer of 2027. Now, in my opinion, you're already way past due. You should have moved out years ago like I did. But okay, you haven't done it yet. I'm being nice. Anyone listening to the sound of my voice right now can leave the collapsing West within 18 months. There's no excuses. I don't care what your excuse is. The only valid excuse is if you have a little kid with an ex-baby mama and you can't get baby mama to leave the country and you want to leave your kid. 99% of you do not have that problem. You don't even have kids. So that's the only excuse I'll accept. Other than that, you have no excuses. You can leave within 18 months. You can leave within a year and a half. Some of you can leave within 6 months. Some of you fuckers can leave within 3 months, but you won't because of all your usual bullshit excuses. What else want to say about that? That's really it. I could go on, but I don't care. I have to try to get worked up about this. Last thing, spiritual stuff. How we doing on time? Perfect. All right. Cover some spiritual stuff, then I'll do the card, we'll do the drawing, and then we'll wrap this up. I'm going to give you an overview. I have some notes here. Let me pull these up really quick. Think about how to get started here. I'll give you a quick overview of some basic concepts. I'm going to get much more detail about this next year in the book and other content next year, 2026, which is in a few days. You are, here's what you think you are. You think you're a salmon swimming upstream. You think you're a little fish swimming upstream, fighting against the current, fighting against the stream, fighting against the other fish, fighting against whirlpools, fighting against whatever, fighting against fishermen and the hooks, and the world is against you, and you're just struggling to make it in the world. Incorrect. You are not a salmon in the stream. You are a whirlpool in the stream. You are the stream. You're a part of the stream. You're not separate from the stream. For you to say, I'm separate, I'm a separate entity from the world around me, would be like saying, my pinky is separate from me. No, it's not. It's part of me. It's who I am. You're not a fish in the ocean. You're a wave in the ocean. And so what you are is you're a part of the ocean, a wave coming up over the ocean as a wave. You get about 80, 90 years to be a wave and look around, experience the ocean as a wave, and then you go back to the ocean again. You were never away from the ocean. You're part of the ocean. Does that make sense? There's some very good things about this. There's one or two bad things about this, but mostly it is good. What is the purpose? You are part of the universe around you. When you're moving through physically this world, you're moving through matter. This is air. You can't see it. You can't feel it unless you do this, but you're moving through matter. You're not separate from the matter. Your molecules are in the air. When I touch this desk, my molecules are going into the desk, some of them, and some are going into my body. I'm not separate from the desk. I'm not separate from you. When I go outside and I see other people, even if they're Muslims or people from India or Pakistan or Asia or the white people from Europe, I'm the only American in Dubai because Americans are scared of Dubai because they're pussies. I am not separate from those people. They're all part of me. I am not just connected. I am part of them. I'm speaking literally. You are a part. I'm a part of you. We're connected. We're the same thing. We're connected to the universe, or you could call it God or Allah, whatever term you want to use for it, doesn't really matter. Now, what is the goal of the universe? Since you are a part of this universe, what's the goal of the universe? Can we determine by looking at the universe through scientific data and observation and history, can we determine or extrapolate what the universe wants? Not what God wants. God's different because you, especially if you're a Christian or Muslim, you think God is a separate thing from the universe looking at the universe. I do not believe this. I do believe the universe was created by someone or something or some things. I believe in intelligent design. That's where I agree with Christians. Do I think there's a big guy with a beard with a little notebook and he's looking down on me and says, oh, you said, God damn it, that's a sin. You're going to hell. No, I do not believe that. That's a fantasy. Human beings made that up. So what then is the purpose of the universe based on what we can view? Can we extrapolate and determine what the universe wants, what the universe goals are? Yes, we can. If you look at the biological world, if you look at animals, if you look at the formation of the earth, if you look at evolution, if you look at plants growing out of the fucking dirt with nothing happens, they grow by themselves. The formation of stars and planets and galaxies, the fact that galaxies are moving away from each other, but they're not just moving away from each other. The speed at which they're moving away from each other is accelerating. Okay, when you look at all that, we can very clearly understand what the universe wants. It's called increase. The universe's goal is to increase. That's why the universe is here. It's not entropy, it's increase. One of my favorite videos to watch, I mean this, I love watching these things. I don't watch TikTok, but sometimes you see them on Facebook because I'm an old man. I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook or social media. But these videos where it's time-lapse videos of a guy who takes a piece of fruit and he takes out a seed from the fruit and he puts it in a little pot with some dirt and he waters it. And he does a time-lapse video of it growing into this plant. like within 100 days or 200 days or 250 days, it turns into this fucking plant that just grows by itself and then creates more plants and more leaves. And within a few hundred days or less, it's this giant fucking plant. And it did that all from a seed by itself. All he had to do was water it. And if it was indoors, he wouldn't have to water it because there's water outside. I come from the Pacific Northwest where everything grows like a fucking weed. When I was a kid living in West Lynn, Oregon in the late 70s, early 80s, I was a little kid. My dad was cleaning up our yard, the house we lived in at the time. And he had this branch and he's like, what do I, fuck. And he just threw the branch to the corner of the yard. Something I would do when I was a dad. Fuck it. Just throw the throw the branch into the bark dust. The branch took root in the ground and grew into this little tree. By the time we moved out of the house, it was just like this little tree. Today, that fucking tree, I saw it a few years ago before I left America. I went to all my old homes and mentally said goodbye. Goodbye to a collapsing America because people get voting for lesser two evils and they fucked your country. I'm sorry, America. And so I went to that house. I was almost gonna say the address. I'm not gonna say the address of the house, but I went to the house. Okay. And it's a fucking tree you could like wrap your arms around. It did that all itself because the universe's goal is increase. You are a part of the universe. Therefore, what does the universe want for you? Increase. What does increase mean for you? Increase your health, increase your influence on the world, increase your wealth, increase your happiness. Those four things, you can start with those four to increase. The world, the universe that you are part of, you are a wave in the ocean. You're not separate. You're not a fish in the ocean. You're a wave in the ocean. The ocean wants increase. So it wants you to increase. That's why you're here. Now, it's a little more complicated than just increasing. Are all the waves in the ocean the same? No, they're all different. Right? You're all unique snowflake, right? We're all unique, at least more or less. So that means two things. One, if you don't increase, if you say, I'm not going to increase, I'm going to smoke weed and jerk off to porn and play video games all day and bitch on the internet about Trump or Biden. That's where I'm going to spend most of my time. And if I work, I'm going to work just enough to pay my electric bill and not be homeless. So I'm not going to increase. If you refuse to do what the universe wants for you, you will experience pain, suffering, anxiety, depression, anger, and fear. These things are coming from the fact that you have chosen, for whatever fucked up reason you have, to not increase. That's why you have them. If you've been involved in increase, you don't feel it. Those 5, 6 emotions I have not felt in decades. I have not felt afraid in decades. I've not felt really angry when's the last time I was angry? Early 2000s when I felt real anger. I felt frustration and irritation, but not anger. I don't have anxiety. I don't know what that would feel like. You know why? I'm focused on increase. Every day, every year, every quarter, I'm focused on increase. You need to be, one last thing, you need to be more clear about what increase means for you. So we're all unique. So the way in which I increase is not the way you increase. Should you go on the internet and start a brand how men could date multiple girls and leave the collapsing West? Probably not. Okay, because you're not me. You're you. So that means you need to determine how the universe wants you to increase. That's your mission. That's your purpose. Last thing about this. You don't have to make up what your mission is. That's the problem with a lot of you. Well, I don't know what it is. I got to figure it out. No, you don't have to figure it out. The universe already knows, or God or Allah, you pick the term. I don't care what the term is. I call it the universe. The universe already knows what your mission is. It's written into the code of the universe. These people who take the, psychedelic drugs and they look at the wall and they go, oh my God, I can see the matrix code. Okay. That's bullshit. But let's say it's true. In that matrix code is your mission, exactly precisely what it should be. The universe already knows what it is. And because you're part of the universe, it's already inside you. Your mission, your purpose, exactly what it should be, is already inside you. It's already part of the universe. So that means you don't have to make it up or figure it out. You just have to uncover the bullshit on top of your mission to uncover your mission. What do you have to uncover? What do you have to get rid of? Your false societal programming. Jesus walked on water. All men are rapists. Trump's going to build a wall. Nick Fuentes has some good points. Gavin Newsom's trying the best he can. Or, Andrew Tate. Happiness is for women. All this bullshit you've been told your whole life. Societal programming, which we'll talk about in my books ad nauseum. You got to clean that out and remove that garbage from your brain. And inside is a little chest. And you open up the chest, and there's your mission. That your universe wants to do, that already knows what it is. You just have to uncover it. Just like when I say starting a business, you don't say, I'm going to sell this. You ask the niche what they want, and they'll tell you, and then you make money. Works the same way here. So it's not actually as difficult as you think to find your mission and find your purpose. The universe already knows what it is. Therefore, you already know what it is. Or at least you don't know what it is. It's in you. You just got to uncover all the anger, frustration, anxiety, fear. You got to get rid of that shit, at least temporarily, so you can dig into your brain, dig into your soul, and pull out your mission, because it's there. You don't have to make it up. It's already there. I already figured out my mission a long time ago. That's why my life is so good. And under normal conditions, you could just kind of fart around and not deal with your mission. As I've said many times, if this was America in 1953, you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. You're fine, even if you're a pussy beta male. You had a great life back then. In the era of collapse, you must do this. You don't have a choice anymore. That's why I start out saying you can't keep embracing evil. That's it. There's a lot more to this. I'll give you an exercise. I'll leave you this exercise, then we'll do the drawing. How do I start this? Hang on. I got to gather my thoughts here. Where are you getting this thing about increase? Alan Watts? No, that has not come from Alan Watts at all. The "you are part of the whole world" comes from Alan Watts, but that comes from Hinduism and stuff. One of my mentors, I haven't talked to him in a long time, is a guy named Randy Gage. And he has talked about how when he talks to people about what do you want for your life? If money was no object, what would you want? Your vision. Where would you live? And what kind of car would you have? And how would you live? And a lot of people go, oh, I just have a house, and I'd have a Mercedes, and, I wouldn't, Okay. Then he says, okay, fuck that. You're on the beach. You find Aladdin's lamp, and you pick up the lamp and you rub it, and a fucking genie comes out. And the genie says, I'll give you 5 wishes. You wish for anything you want. What would those wishes be? Then those same people go, oh, I'd have $1 trillion, and I'd have 27 houses, and I'd have a big mountain of Bitcoin and a big mountain of gold, and I'd have supermodels lined. So when they know it's fake, then they give themselves permission to think big and think about what they really want. When you say, what do you want for life? They go, ooh, well, Okay, so here is the exercise I've come up with that mitigates and takes advantage of both poles. So here's what you should do. Don't do this right now. Do this later. This will change your life. Maybe. You may already know these things, but if you're not sure in terms of becoming your purpose and things like that, here's the scenario. You're walking along the street. You see an Aladdin's lamp. You pick it up. It's a little dirty. You rub it. And a fucking genie comes out, and he sounds like Robin Williams from Atlanta, right? He's blue. And he says, I'm a magical genie. I'm going to give you 5 wishes. And you can't wish for more wishes. This isn't Dungeons and Dragons. 5 wishes. Okay. You can have anything you want, but there are some rules. Okay. Here are the rules. Matter of fact, in Aladdin, there were some rules. He said, I couldn't. What did he say in Aladdin? I can't raise someone from the dead. I can't make someone love you. Anyway, so this genie says, you can literally wish for anything you want. If you want $1 trillion, I'll give it to you. Okay. Anything you want, but here are the rules. One is, I can't change the laws of physics. Okay. So if you say I want to be Superman and be bulletproof and fly around, I can't do that. That changes laws of physics. I can't change laws of physics. Number 2, I can't change how other people are or how other people feel. So you can't point at the girl you know at the grocery store and say, make her love me. You can't point at your wife and say, can my fat wife lose 50 pounds? I can't affect other people individually like that. I can't do that. Okay. You can lose 50 pounds, but I can't. Okay. 3, I cannot change any other external institutions. I can't change governments. I can't change banks. I can't say, you can't wish end the war in Ukraine. I can't change that stuff. It's just about you, okay? But within those 3 limitations, you can wish for anything you want. But realize you still have to deal with the real world. For example, if you say, I want $10 billion, great. You have $10 billion. It's in your checking account. And then the IRS sees it. Now you got to pay taxes on it. IRS says, okay, you got to pay $4 billion in taxes. And then your bank has to charge a bunch of fees right? So you have to deal with that. Well, I'd wish for Bitcoin. Okay, fine. You have $10 trillion of USDC or whatever the fuck it is. Now you've got your software wallet. You better not forget your fucking passphrase. And if you don't know what a software wallet is or passphrase, you're in big trouble, aren't you? Okay, so you have to deal with the real world. You can say, I'm ripped like Wolverine, like Hugh Jackman. I'm fucking ripped. Okay, you're ripped. But now you have to go to the gym 3-4 days a week for the rest of your life to maintain that shit. If you just don't go to the gym, you're going to lose all that within a year. You can say, I want 3 PDMs. I want 3 wives like Caleb has. And they're all perfect 10s. And one's an Asian and one's a blonde. Okay, boom, you've got them. But now you have to manage these girls. You have to know how to manage PDMs and multiple MLTRs. And if you don't know how to manage them, they're all going to dump you within 6 months. So I'll give you whatever you want, but you got to deal with the real world. Those are the rules. Now, what you do is you write down what your 5 wishes are. And I'm telling you, this will open your brain. It can be anything you want. I want a yacht. Okay, you have a yacht. Now you got to pay for its upkeep. And I want a castle in Scotland like Dan Pena. I want it paid off. Okay, now you got to pay $100,000 a month for the electric bill and the property taxes. And so you better wish for a bunch of money first. But where's that money going to go? So you write down the 4 wishes and within that thought process. And that gives you a clue as to what you really want in your vision, which gives you hints for your mission. Make sense? You should do this. And again, last week of December, man, this is the best time to do this kind of stuff. Dig into your brain and figure out what you want. And that gives you a clue to who are you, what is your purpose? Because then you have a genie, but it's within the real world. Because then when you write these 5 wishes down, now they're achievable. Because you're within the realm of reality and physics and governments and shit like that, right? Okay. Last code. You ready? I'll move it around the screen. Those of you seeing on the phone. Don't say it. Don't put it in the chat. Here it is on this side of the screen. Here it is on this side of the screen. It's one of my favorite words. No, the word is not sex. Here's the bottom of the screen. Here's the top of the screen. Okay. So the link you want to go to, we'll do the drawing right now, and I'll do some questions. Let's see. Let me share that. Share that screen again. We'll do the live drawing now. If you're watching the replay, go to this link now, plug in the things, and then we will do another drawing for those watching the replay Tuesday night. If you did not make the full live stream, tinyurl.com/Caleb contest. You need to go there, put in your name, your email address, go there right now. Those of you on live stream, there's a bunch of you. Go there right now because I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I'll answer a few questions and I'll do the drawing. You have to put in your name, email address, and the 3 codes that I gave you during this live stream. Cool? No, you cannot answer. You cannot enter twice. And the drawing is, what's the drawing? What are the prizes? I'll give you the prizes again here. The prizes are, there's the prizes. $50 credit, $300 credit, 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with me in January. And I'm going to do the drawing right now in about 5 minutes for those of you who are live. And then for those of you watching the replay on YouTube, get this done before Tuesday night. I will do this Tuesday night. tinyurl.com/Caleb contest. Go there right now. Go there right now. If you're watching the replay, go there right now. If you're on the live stream, go there right now. Plug your shit in. Let me answer some questions. What are you guys doing this? Let's see. Not coming to Canada. No, you can fly to Chicago very easily. Regarding collapse, what about Western and Eastern Europe? Western Europe is fucked. Eastern Europe is fucked, but not as fast. Does it have more or less time than the USA? Probably less. Trump has probably a year with the political power left to do anything. And you know, if he does stuff, he'll fuck it up more. Would you recommend continuing with the tattoo shop business if I get out of Germany, or should I continue finding a niche? I need to do more research on how much money tattoo artists make, what kind of margins they have. They're good margins, yes. If I don't have location dependent business, make it. By the way, go right now and go right now while I'm doing this. tinyurl.com/Caleb contest. If I don't have a location dependence making $7K per month yet, but sold my house for $250K, could I move out of the United States right away? Yes. Move right now. Yes. And keep your expenses low. You go to somewhere like Paraguay, you'll live like a king on very low expenses. Yes. My income for location business is 60 to 70K USD per month. Great. I play a decent amount of video games. You said you might have to quit video games temporarily to hit 7 figures. For my goals, would I have to? Yes. Absolutely. Not forever, but absolutely I would do it. I did it. My mind is not expanded enough for this yet. Jay Abraham, borrowing ideas from one industry and applying them to other industries and that think completely differently. Yes, agree. Can the $500 credit be used for your existing products at any of the live events? Anything I currently sell that is available, you can use it for. Are you a non-dualist? No. This sounds like Aviata Vendata. I don't know what that is. Yeah, Alan Watts is a component of this stuff, but not all of it. Increase does not come from Alan Watts. So all of our biggest wishes come true with even bigger responsibilities. That's only if you wish very big. So let me explain that. When I did this exercise myself, I didn't wish for $1 billion. I don't want $1 billion. I don't want to be on the IRS's radar. So I don't need $1 billion to be happy. I know exactly how much money I need to be happy. It's a lot of money. It's nowhere near $1 billion. It's not even 100 million. I don't need 100 million. I know exactly what I want based on the lifestyle I want to live for the rest of my life. I know precisely what these numbers are. Nowhere near that shit. So I don't need that. I do not want $1 billion. I don't want to be on the radar from the IRS, and I don't want that shit. So maybe you don't have to wish that big. Now, if you want to be a multi-billionaire, there's a small percentage of you who do. Great, go for it. I don't want to be famous. But if you want to be, if you're like Andrew Tate or Grant Cardone, their goal in life is to be famous and have everyone know who they are. Great, go be famous. I don't. So it helps you clarify what you want, but why do you want it? People say, I want $1 billion. They don't know what that means. Now, some people really do want $1 billion. Alex Hormozi wants to be a billionaire. He'll probably get there. Charlie Morgan wants to be a billionaire. Sam Ovens wants to be they want to be billionaires. They're cool with that. I am not. I do not want to be a billionaire. No. I have other things in my life that are more important. But money is important. I have big financial goals, but not $1 billion. So that's my point. My wishes are on money to spend on the best coaches. I agree with you. When you hit enter, does it leave you or on the same page? I don't understand the question. Do you ever get questioned when you go back to the United States? Sometimes when I fly into Seattle, depends on the airport. Sometimes, yes. I heard they are strict if you're out of the country for a long time. I've run into that once or twice. Mm-hmm. They have gotten better. B, I do global entry now. That's probably what helps. I do global entry, so that helps a lot. What are you doing with your Bitcoin? I'm keeping it, and I'm buying more. What follow-up cadence would you schedule with a conversation with a clinic owner in terms of business days between each email? It's more important to call than to email. Cold email is kind of a waste of time, in my opinion, in most cases. Went to Guadalajara, love the city lifestyle-wise, but hated how flaky the girls are. Is that an easy fix? Yes, more girls. Guadalajara Mexican girls are great. But yeah, they're flaky. And they're also, all younger women are flaky. With these women under the age of 25? Flaky. You have the same problem in the United States. Does your spiritual knowledge come from Reality Transurfing book? No. I've not even read that book, but I'm aware of that book. What's the difference between vision and mission? Your vision is a 1 or 2 page document of everything you want in your life in all aspects. I want to live in a house like this. I want to live in this country. My woman life looks like this. I make this amount of money. My net worth is this. I weigh this much pounds on the scale. It's everything you want in your life. If you could have it all in 3 to 5 years, what your perfect life. Your mission is your purpose. It's 1 or 2 sentences, and it's your purpose. Vision is pretty easy. Mission is hard. That's a good point. Lots of things we can't even imagine come up with different levels of growth and finances. Right. Right. Surprised you get the question in the land of the free when you go back to the US. What kind of stuff do they ask? Where were you? Dubai? One time I had to sit for 40 minutes. Well, you need to sit over here. We need to check on you. I've lived here my whole life in America. I'm an American citizen. Hello. I've never committed a crime. Hello. Again, it's not typical, but it's happened. America's not the land of the free. It's, well, at least it sucks. I tried cold calling, but my conversations were mostly receptionists and practice managers. Yeah, that's normal. It's called gatekeepers. You need to learn how to get past the gatekeeper. Correct. In this case, would cold emails direct to the owner work? Cold emails are very poor. So you can do a lot of both. A lot of cold calls, get better at getting to the gatekeeper. Lots of sales books and sales courses you get on how to get past the gatekeeper. Lots more calls, and then a lot of cold email. Cold email is like, 1%. It's pretty weak. Can work, but it's hard. If I don't have location independent income, but I have decent net worth, how much would you think is the bare minimum to leave the West? None. You can leave right now. Thoughts on minimalism? I'm relatively minimalist. I don't own a car. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I have 4 shirts. I'm relatively minimalist. I think it's great. That's my opinion. It's not good or bad. Is it part of your vision or just a mechanism to achieve hyper flexibility? It's part of hyper flexibility. I want to be hyper flexible. Yep. Thoughts on silver going ham right now? Thank you for this gem of stream. You're welcome. I own silver. I have for a long time. I've been talking about silver a long time. Yeah. What financial level starts attracting negative attention? I can't give you a number. I know it's $1 billion. I don't know what the number would be. 30 million? I don't know. There's no way to know that. All right, 2 or 3 more questions, and I will actually, while we're talking here, I'm going to go right now to bring on this. I'm going to do the drawing. So if you haven't done it yet, you better fucking hurry because I'm doing it right now, baby. Hang on. Responses. Okay, there we go. Great. That's just fun. Ooh, a lot of you. All right, great. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, let me turn this off here. I have a big list of names. I'm going to just scroll with my mouse wheel and just close my eyes. I'm not looking, and just point at one and touch one on the screen. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, I got to write this down though too. Hang on. Wasn't prepared for this. I'm just going to say your first name. I'm not going to say anything else. Okay, so you know who you are. You'll be getting an email from my team within the next 24 hours. All right. This is the 3rd prize for a $50 credit from anything I have. Okay, I'm scrolling up and down. I'm not looking. I'm going to touch the screen. Hang on. I'm not going to say your name because it's very foreign sounding. It starts with an N and it ends with a V. So you just won $50 credit. Now, go back. This is what's the next one? $300 credit. Okay, hang on. This is fun. I feel like I'm on a game show. Okay. Scrolling my mouse wheel up and down. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm not going to look. I'm going to touch the screen. Chase. is your first name. Chase. You just won a $300 credit. Okay, now here's the big one. Here's the 30-minute coaching call with me sometime in January. Hang on. This is kind of fun. Maybe we should do this more often. Maybe we should do next one. Should be like a Lambo. Okay, hang on. This is kind of I'll have to have a more high-tech system for doing this next time. Okay, hang on to make sure. Wait, why is it not going? Oh, here it is. Okay. Scrolling up and down. I can see on my peripherals going up and down. Touching the screen. Adam. I'm not going to say her last name. You just won a 30-minute coaching call with me. Okay, if you're watching the replay of this, you'll get an email if you win, because I can't announce it. I guess I can announce it on my YouTube. What do they call it now? Posts. I guess I could do that. I'll do that. Will that work? Cool. All right. I can answer a few more questions. How are we? 3 hours and 10 minutes. Perfect, baby. Cool. All right. There wasn't 24 people. Incorrect, dude. There's a lot more than that. Give me a few more questions and I'll answer a few questions. Then I gotta go. Thoughts on uranium as an investment? I own it. I've owned it for years. The future is nuclear. Very good. This scrolling version seems unfair. Why? Let's see. The only thing stopping me is my skills are physical trades, and I'm struggling to translate remote online. Have you seen this before? Yeah, I've seen this a billion times. What benefit can you offer people who are in your trade? Is there something you know that would benefit other people in your trade? Sell to people in your trade. My second business, well, it wasn't my second business, but one of my second, third, fourth businesses was I was a computer consultant. I started teaching computer consultants how to get clients because I knew how to do that. I made a lot of money doing that. So I sold to people like me. So you start with that. Is there something you can do? For clarity, we cannot enter Tuesday raffle if we enter today's, correct? That is correct. You can't enter twice. That would be fair. Unless you can find a way around that is fair. That doesn't seem fair to me. Do you still think China will rule the world? No. China will be one of the great powers in a multipolar world. So what we had after World War II, so first we had a multipolar world around World War I. You had lots of little superpowers, okay? Very multipolar. And then after World War II, we had a bipolar world. Not bipolar as in crazy, but bipolar as in two poles. We had two superpowers, Soviet Union, United States. So the entire world was effectively de facto run by two superpowers. Right. Okay. Then as of early 90s, Soviet Union collapsed because it's communist. That's what happens when you embrace communism, you stupid people in New York. And so then it was a unipolar world. The United States has de facto run the entire planet Earth since 1991 up all the way up until 2020s. And then what you're going to have is a collapsing USA and a rising Asia, specifically a rising India, rising China. Russia's going to bounce up and down. Brazil's going to bounce up and down. So you have several different poles, multipolar, which is good. That's actually good news. I don't want the world being run by one thing. That's very dangerous. Or by two things. I'd prefer several, and then I have an option. And they leave, and they fight each other, and they leave me alone in Dubai and Paraguay. So kind of like it. What was the best stock you ever invested in? I don't invest in stocks. I don't do stocks. Not my thing. Asian tech professional who moved to the West for money but missed home, moved to Southeast Asia. I don't understand your question. If we quit our job, how do we accommodate for benefits, health insurance, 401k match, etc.? Okay, that's an employee mindset question. How do I get my 401k if I quit my job? You don't. You invest yourself. You don't get a match. But I like my match. Then be a slave the rest of your life. Health insurance, you pay for it yourself. I buy my own health insurance. It's called a health savings account. If you're an American, it's real easy. But I don't want to pay for my own health insurance. I want my boss to pay. Then have a job and be a slave the rest of your life and have AI replace you. Okay, that's fine. Why internationalize is CRS, CARF, and global, and the OECD will just force all non-compliant jurisdictions into line. They won't force all non-complying. They'll force the big non-complying, like Dubai. They won't force Paraguay to do anything. They won't force Belarus to do anything. I'm not saying move to Belarus. There are lots of countries they're going to leave alone because they don't care. Paraguay is top that list. So incorrecto. How would I handle the tax situation if I don't want to live in Paraguay? Have two homes like me. Under 183 days in Mexico, under 183 days in Colombia, and spend 1 week in the middle in Panama. Here you go. No zero tax. Mexico is easy to avoid taxes because I know a lot of expats don't pay taxes. You can also lie. I don't advise lying or breaking the law. I always advise follow the laws of wherever you live. If you hate the laws of where you live, then leave. So you can, I know lots of people live in Mexico who just tell Mexico, I didn't make any money. I don't make any money. I'm poor. And Mexico has no way of checking, so they lie. I don't recommend that, but it is an option. But I don't do that. Would AI help with medical advances? Absolutely. With people with various health conditions? Abso-fucking-lutely. It is now likely that in your lifetime, unless you're very old, we will reach a point where the average human will live hundreds of years because of AI. That is now likely. Before I wasn't sure. Now I'm saying it's likely. As long as you don't die in the next few years, a lot of you are going to die from suicide and drugs because you're going to be pissed off about the collapse of the West. Okay, so don't do that. Be healthy, stay alive. Now, that could be 20, 25 years from now. So watch what you eat. Don't drink a lot of alcohol. Take care of yourself. Let's see. You guys keep asking questions. It keeps pushing them up, and I can't read them. Would AI? Do you have any plans, adjustments made for the collapsing population, especially in the West and East Asia? Yes. Yes. It's called 5 flags, high income, high net worth, 3 PDMs. Now I'm not affected by any of this. That's my answer. And niched income, niched business income. Read my book, Freedom Fortress. Any advice on how to stop giving a shit about what other people think? Read my book, The Unchained Man, alphamalebook.com. It teaches you exactly how to do that. I love doing sales. Good. Can I do that as my Alpha 2.0 business? Because what about if I have kids? Huh? I don't understand your question. Yes, you can definitely do sales as your Alpha 2.0 business as long as you're niched. And eventually you have to move into something else because salespeople will be replaced within the next 5 years. Not 2 years, but next 5. But the answer is yes. You got to pivot later, though. Didn't Paraguay just adopt CRS? No. Getting non-CRS bank accounts or is almost impossible now. That's not true. You're wrong. I'm sorry, you're wrong. You're wrong on both counts. Which one of your products brought the highest percentage of success to people? Well, I have like 80 products. There's no way for me to determine that. 90 Business Builder is pretty damn good, though. Has Paraguay changed a lottery now for residency? For sure. We will know in about 3 weeks. Billy's down there now getting people residency right now. She's down there right now. I got guys down there right now doing this to prepare, so you don't have to worry about it. The point is, you don't want to. Here's the point of this, guys. As I've explained many times, if you're going after residency for a certain country, I don't care, Mexico, Panama, even one I don't like, even if you want to go to fucking, I don't know, Cyprus or something, okay, and you're going after, you don't say, I hope they don't change their laws in the next 3 years. Boy, I sure hope they don't. No, you go get it now. But I have a job. Then you call in sick for 2 weeks and you go get it now. You tell your boss you got to take a leave for 2. Whatever you got to do, you get it now. So when it changes, you don't fucking care. I have residency in Armenia, United States, Mexico, Paraguay, Armenia, Dubai. So if they change, I don't care. I already have it. I got all this done 5 years ago for that reason. I didn't want to go, I hope Dubai doesn't change their laws. Hope is not a plan. Hope is not a strategy. What's that saying? But Caleb, you don't understand. No, I do understand. You're making a bunch of fuck excuses. I have a job, but my boss will get mad. Okay, then your boss will get mad. You can't fuck around anymore, guys. And I've been saying that for about 4 years. You can't fuck around anymore. But, I have a kid, and anyone can get off their dumb ass, buy a plane ticket, and go to Paraguay or any other country for the 2 weeks, maybe 3, but usually 2, that is required to get residency in these countries. You can do this. Don't give me a bunch of beta male puss excuses. What did I just say earlier? You're fucked. You're fucked. If you want to make excuses to be fucked, go ahead and make excuses to be fucked about your boss or your girlfriend or your kid or your mom or whatever the fuck. Or CRS banking or... Stop it. You don't have time for this. You're already behind schedule. I've said this 10,000 times. I'm happy to say it again. A few more questions. I got to go. If I lived in the United States or Canada or Western Europe or Australia, any one of these Western collapsing countries, okay, right now, like most of you, and I did not have any location independent income, and I did not have any residencies anywhere other than my collapsing Western country, I would be screaming in terror every morning. I would be in a state of constant terror and fear. Oh my fucking God. If I woke up in your life, I'd be like, quit my job, cancel whatever I got to do, get that residency, start that fucking business. Whatever I got to do. I wouldn't say, but my boss. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've done entire videos and blog posts about this. I get emails from guys who don't follow my advice and what happens to them. I've gotten the emails, and I hate getting them. Normally I'd say, well, I fucking told you so. I don't like getting them. And I still get them. And over the next several years, I'm going to get a lot of emails and comments saying, I listened to you back in 2025 or 2023 or 2000, and I never did it. And now, Bubba, I'm going to get a horror story that could have been prevented if you fucking took my advice. I'm going to get a lot of those in the next 5 years. A lot. I didn't do it because I made a bunch of bullshit excuses about blah, 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 blah. And I didn't start my business. I didn't get my residency. I didn't da-da-da-da. I didn't da-da-da-da. Or in many cases, I got monogamous and married a traditional monogamous marriage. And now I can't see my own kids. Let's see. A few more questions. Where are we here? Does UCO have 9-day Business Builder? I'm about to buy it. Yes, you can buy 9-day Business Builder. Yes, you can buy it right now. 9daybizbuilder.com. How hard would you have to work if you have a very high-end medical niche and your goal is to make 60 to 70 USD a month? How hard would you have to work? Hard. If you're starting from zero, hard. Work hard every day. What is a Caleb Christmas and 9-day Business Builder about? Well, if you're a 9-day Business Builder, show up. It's mostly going to be strategic planning for your business, niche, and then Q&A for me for Business Builder people. If you are in your early 20s, still living with your parents, is it a better option to start go time mode? Yes. Or rent a studio apartment, alone time, to have the mental space for 3.0 90-day Business Builder. Go time and moving out has nothing to do with each other. Those are two separate topics. You can do both. I've said many times, if you live with your parents, move out immediately. Immediately. You have no freedom when you live with your parents. I moved out from my parents in the middle of a recession, and I was starving. I could barely pay my bills. I could barely put gas in my car, and it was still worth doing because I had freedom. So yes, I would advise get the fuck out of your parents' house right now. Right now. Even if you've got to move into a shitty, I've said this. I'd rather you live, you young guys, in a shitty studio apartment with 2 roommates in the worst part of town than live with mommy and daddy. Because if you live with mommy and daddy, you're not free. And I teach freedom. I moved out when I was 18. I was 18 in the middle of a recession when I was a dumb shit and didn't know anything. No job prospects, no nothing. I made it work, but it was hard. But it was worth it. I meant, what if I have kids and I'm living in 2 places? How do I handle that? That's a very big topic. I can't answer that in a quick answer like this. You need to be very organized with your time and spend a lot of time with your kids. If the lottery goes into effect, will you give an update video on it? Over at Substack, yeah, not at YouTube. I'm not allowed to talk about that stuff on YouTube anymore. Why do you think AI replaces salespeople? It already is. It's already replaced SDRs because it can talk and it sounds real. That's why. Especially high-ticket sales when people buy from humans. Right now, it won't do it. I said in 5 years. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about 5 years. It will replace you in 5 years. I'm going to be right about this. As white people are going extinct, yes. I just saw the map of the birth rates. It's hilarious. I'm going to put it on YouTube. I will put that on YouTube. A color-coded world map of birth rates, and it shows green where they're having replacement, and then red or yellow where there's under replacement. And it's the entire world is red or yellow except a little band in Africa and Paraguay. White people going extinct. Would it ever get to a situation where the situation is so bad and something needs to be done? That's for white people who want to do something. What would you do? What effect do you have on the entire planet Earth? None. Focus on yourself. Most people in the collapsing West want to stay where they are. I know. That's why they're fucked. That's why my content is only for 10% of men. Yep. So they don't care. Correct. For people like us, we are trailblazers. Correct. You said Paraguay was joining CRS in 2027. Right. That sounds right. Correct. Not now. And I don't know why you're so worried about this. So what? You can still get a bank account. And you have lots of other options for other countries to get bank accounts in. I don't know why you're so worried about this. What happens when all financial privacy is gone? Oh, right. Did you read the article? Read the article. Do you use Graphene OS on your phone? No. Do you worry about surveillance? No. 2% rule. Read the 2% rule. All right, last question. I got to go. Have you ever traveled without a home base? Yeah, I was homeless in 2023 for about 3 months. Yeah. When I moved Pink Firefly back to the United States temporarily, was in the United States for a month, was in Mexico for about 6 weeks, was in Dubai for about 2 months, all without a home. Yeah. I don't care. Fine. I'm hyper flexible. Don't care. Don't love it. Not a permanent scenario, but I could be homeless for a few months. No problem, dude. I'm hyper flexible. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. If you are watching the replay, please go to tinyurl.com/Caleb contest and enter in the 3 codes and your name and your email for the drawing. I will do another drawing Tuesday night. If you want to get all of my courses or all of my new courses for a few $100, that's normally $12,000. Go to the websites I said earlier. I forgot what they were. You can watch the replay and rewind this. And you don't have time. That's my final word for this live stream, which is always my final word. You don't have time to fuck around. You don't have time to hope Trump will fix it. You don't have time to make excuses about your boss or your mom. You need to take action, build your location independent income, get your second residency, ideally move out of the collapsing West, but you don't want to, get an international backup plan, and or make plans to leave the collapsing West within 18 months, which you can do. And we'll talk more about this next year. Find your meaning, find your purpose. A lot of shit is going to get a lot worse. And if you don't know who you are, and you don't understand who you are and your place in the world and your meaning and all that stuff, you're in big trouble like the vast majority of humanity. Or I should say, the vast majority of humanity who live in the Western world. I don't live in the Western world, so I don't have these problems. I'm here to help you get out of the Western world so you can live a happy life. And that's it. See you soon.